Oh, Spencer, we're live. We're live. Don't say rude words, please. I'm trying to be anymore. I didn't even know that. No, I didn't know that. Okay, so I got a notification from me that I have gone live. So I need to know what I'm going to open. Let me go on my other browser. Oh my god, I'm all over the place. My other browser. Hi, Genki, we're live. So don't say F or S. Genki never swears. Hardly ever, anyway. Right, hang on. I need to look at the I should have opened it on here. Am I dummy? Oh no, open it on the other one. This is the pre-show, everybody. This isn't the real show. This is the we're testing. Oh no, is it really loud, by the way? Because I heard that the gain. I've got the gain all the way down. Okay. So I'm just trying to sign into the actual account. Manage your channel. Okay, so we're live. Make sure that microphone doesn't fall over. Zero sugar. It's zero. Anyway, hang on. Shush. One second, please. 1 second. We're live. Can I hear anything on this? Sorry, 1 sec. Microphone doesn't fall over. Oh no, so I can't hear this. Fuck. I know I wasn't gonna swear, but I've just realised something. I can't hear the desktop. Zero sugar. It's zero. I think I can't hear the desktop. 1 second, please. 1 second. I think I can't hear my desktop. Sorry, 1 sec. Because I need the audio plug. Hang on 1 second. Oh, this is a nightmare. How does anyone do this? So if I plug it. I can't hear the desktop. I think I can't hear the desktop. Yeah, so I can't hear my desktop unless it's plugged into. Unless I plug the. So I can't hear what you guys are saying. I can't hear anything unless I have it plugged directly into the microphone. This is a nightmare. I don't know how to do this. We might not be able to do the show. I literally don't know how to fix this. I'm sure someone knows how to do this, not me. I don't know how to do this. Desktop, I can hear it on here. This is why I wanted to test earlier, you see. I literally cannot hear anything. So if I plug that back into the alright. I'll tell you what the problem is. I'll probably hear you now. Are you there? Wow. Yeah, so here's the problem, and I honestly don't know how to do this with this microphone. Right, so if I have my earphones plugged directly into the PC, I can hear you and everything through Discord, but I can't hear my desktop. In order to hear the desktop and everything, you have to plug the headphones directly into the microphone, but when I do that, I can't hear you. So I don't know how to yeah. God. Yeah. So you said my audio sounds low? on it on the or is it just all the audio sounds low? General audio. And how do I do that? Hi J2, we're still having some audio, some issues, a lot of issues. Okay, does that turn it up? Desktop audio. I've got nothing coming through the desktop. My microphone. Then how do I turn that up? Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do this just because I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I can do that. I don't know if I can stream on Discord and on YouTube at the same time though. Hang on a second. This is another test episode, by the way. This is a I'm already writing this one as off as a test episode, everybody. So there you go. Hang on, share this. So I'm going to share my Streamlabs desktop. Hopefully you can see it. Right, so you can see where my microphone's coming through. My microphone, the desktop audio, which I can't hear because of the way this thing. I can't hear the. So basically, I can hear you, but I can't hear. I can't hear the desktop unless I plug my headphones, like my actual. That's true. I don't need to. But I was trying to see what the actual audio sounds like. Now, the sorry the what I have. Yeah, I did do that, but that's when I had to. Yeah, that's in the desktop audio. But if everyone else can like tell me what that sounds like, they're saying they can hear me. Is it sounding low or anything like that? Am I sounding low? I don't know how do I raise my general volume? I have to do it in Discord, right? If anyone sounds low or whatever, tell me. Yeah, yeah. On Discord, I sound fine. Can people in chat, can you hear Genki and Spencer? Okay. Is anyone else besides? Oh, you can't even hear them. They said they can't hear you. Why? Okay, let me just make sure that these fucking permissions are okay. So I said I was not gonna swear, didn't I? I'm sorry, I'm getting annoyed. They said they can't hear you two. I can hear you clearly, but I had to max out my headset volume. Yeah. Like I said, I might not be able to do the show because I just don't know how to. I'm really sorry. I can't hear Genki. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. One sec. Let me look at this. Oh, this. Now can you hear him? Because I had the Discord muted. Genki, can you say something? Yeah. 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 Can't hear anything apart from my voice. Yeah, I had the Discord on air thing muted. Now I've put it like so it's not muted. Um so no, I know because yeah. It's not really, yeah, I know because of the source. Hang on a sec. Source settings. Discord on air. So I had it muted, but I've unmuted it now. Monitor only. Mute output. No, not mute output. Audio monitoring. Okay. Is that monitor and output? Well, that makes two of us, Skank. Can't hear anyone else apart from me. Oh, for the love of God. Yeah. I might have to. Through the computer. Yeah, but it shouldn't make any yeah, I sound perfect, but you can't hear Genki, right, Spencer? Yeah. Yeah, because I'm a dummy. That's why they can't hear you. I can hear no tiffs, but no voice oddly. Fudge. Hang on a sec. What is going on here? Right, first of all, let me just check the Discord. Discord. Make sure you're not muted or anything. Got the volume. So I know we had this issue last time, but it was like a different issue. I might just. So I might go back to my crappy audio until we get the. I might have to go back to my crappy mic because I don't think I can sort this out because I'm a dummy and I don't know how to do it, Genki. That's why. No, the mic. It's not the mic. There's only one way to plug in the mic, and that is to pull it in. So if I take out my headphones, yes, USB mic. There's only one way to connect it. So if they can't hear you, well, yeah, but I might, yeah, exactly. I might have been dumb and done something and done something dumb because I'm a dummy. Yes, there's that. That's very possible. Discord on air is like is not is. Oh, maybe this string clip Discord. But this voice overlay should work. This. No, never mind. here? Didn't do anything. That's me. No. So look, advanced. Oh, I don't know if you can see this next. Probably can't see this window here. Okay, let me check my global settings. Hang on. Desktop audio. Oh, fuck. I think this is why. I think I fucked it up. Hang on.
Which one?
Desktop audio device 1. I didn't have the right device. I haven't had the right device on. Desktop audio device 1.
What's the...
Well, no, I just had it like it was either disabled or
The audio.
hang on. Speakers, no, it should be the Realtek desktop audio device 2. No,
Oh,
maybe
okay.
maybe
So...
it's this one. Speakers, yeah. There's Genki. Oh, you just heard him. Which one? Okay, no, one sec. There's the Realtek high definition audio. Was that right?
That one. Yeah, that one.
Oh, it's right.
Okay.
Oh, I'm like
okay.
I'm like a dummy of like the utmost like.
Oh, okay.
You wouldn't believe I didn't even have the right source on. You can hear Genki. Genki leaks some insider stuff. Yeah, Genki's gonna leak some insider stuff on the show. Stay tuned.
Oh yeah, I got a new title this week.
Yeah, so let's freaking go! Yes. Is he peeking though?
Oh yeah, let's go.
We're hitting yellow bars. Right, now tell me if you can hear me, okay? And you can hear Genki, okay? Please. We put it back to the starting soon.
Okay, so I think they can hear us now. We just have to check out the audio levels if like the volume's high enough.
Yeah, is the volume high? I mean, like if I raise it anymore, like we're hitting like yellow bars and stuff. Straight is not the game of the year, King. Get the F out of here. You're going to make me swear, King. You're going to make me swear. I said I'm not going to swear because this is YouTube now.
You can just see Indecider from King.
Genki sounds good too.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Oh, we'll have to wait and see. Genki's hitting yellow though. We'll have to wait and see. Nice and clear. Oh.
Okay, just try to even out the bars.
Yeah, is it better? Both sound good.
I think you should just put your one up a bit as well because it was a bit quiet on the You put it like to 5. No, what's it? 5? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, if I put it up, it's like right at the top now.
Okay.
Yeah, it could also be straight. Is King. Horizon Zero Awards. Horizon Zero Awards. Actually, it did get 0 awards, didn't it, at the Game Awards? I would say that Xenoblade is probably better than Stray King. Even though I haven't played either of those games. You just need to think about it for 1 second. Okay, so if we are working, I don't know if it's just me or if these transitions are running slow, like they're lagging out on my thing. I don't know if that's just because of me or I don't know, it's just what I'm seeing or if that's what everyone else is seeing as well. You have to let me know. I don't know why it's lagging out. Okay, so maybe we can start then. King chose violence. I know he definitely did choose violence, didn't he? Okay, so what we're gonna do.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, then we can start.
Right. Well,
cool.
I should have had this window ready. Sorry, I didn't have this window ready. This one. Okay, so we're going to talk about that was our warm up. Okay, so everyone just ignore the last like 10 minutes. Okay, we're getting things warmed up. Let's see how this. Let me know how this display is looking. How you can see the what do you call it? This browser. Is this text large enough for everyone to read? I did increase the size of my actual UI this time. So I know it was it was barely visible last time. So I did increase it. So yeah, let's get started. Genki, how are you doing?
Oh, hey Jodie. Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Awesome. How's your week
Had
been?
an interesting week. Yeah, in terms of real world stuff, real life stuff, yeah, just working and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, work in a Japanese company, so like the hours can get quite long.
Oh, right.
But yeah, in terms of Twitter, I had like an interesting week
Mm.
on Twitter.
Yeah,
That was funny, and apparently I'm an industry insider now,
yeah, that was pretty
which is
funny.
super cool.
Yeah, I don't know where they got that from. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, we can talk about that for a little bit. We strongly recommend you put. Why are they asking me about these notifications? How do I get this thing off the screen? Don't ask me this. Ask me another time. Yeah, so I really want to get into these Famitsu sales, because we got 2 weeks worth basically. Famitsu, they promised us, yeah, we're gonna have your our charts ready. It's gonna be on the 12th. So like, people were waiting. Like it was like 15 minutes to go for them to keep their promise until like it hit midnight in Japan. So people were like, where are these sales? So they dropped it, and they gave us the 2 weeks worth, and they actually split the those 2 weeks. So they're giving it all as group together. They did actually split it. So we have here. So look, see, this is from the end of last year to the first, and then this one is to the 8th, as you can see here. So
They split the software but not the hardware,
not the
right?
hardware. Genki, they did this last year as well. They split. They had the two, because they always have the holiday, right? They had the two, and the other thing is that Famitsu, like, for whatever mad reason, they decided to make the last week, like the way they did their week. There was 6 days left of 2022, and then it went 1 day, so the 1st of January it went into 2023, and they decided to make that whole thing, right, from the 26th to the 1st. They made that week 1 of 2023. So it's like everything's out of, it's really weird, like everything's kind of out of whack. So I don't know why they did that. So that's how Famitsu does their weeks. But
I
Media
think it's
Create,
just the way the days laid up.
yeah, but Media Creates does not do their weeks like that. Their weeks,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So that's
So they'll change it up.
the organization that tracks all these different sales. But and then it used to be, Media Create used to have their sales charts available for free. Then they started charging for it, and so that's why everyone had to switch to Famitsu, which is free. We can now see some of the monthly Media Create sales via a magazine called Nintendo Dream. So they publish the monthly Famitsu Media Create sales. The only thing is that they only show, because they're a Nintendo like magazine or whatever, they only show the software from Nintendo platform. So they'll have 3DS and Switch on there, but you can't see the PlayStation software sales, but you can see all of the hardware. So it's really weird. So let me just check in and see what are people typing on here. You know about how King Narukami? How are you still talking about that goddamn Monarch? That game came out how many years ago? Oh, maybe, well, not years ago, like a year ago. Still talking about it. King Reckons, there was a demo of it, but I never actually played it. King reckons it sucks, so I don't know. Have you heard of that game, Genki? Probably not.
Yeah, no.
No.
I don't know that game.
No, wouldn't have thought so. It's like it's a RPG that has, I think, some of the XSMT developers on it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And people had,
I think, yeah, I heard you talk about it before.
it was kind of like a low, like super low budget game. But I think it didn't live up to some people's, aka King Narukami's expectations.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you told me like it didn't sell great.
I how it sold. Oh no, I do remember it coming up in the chart. Yeah, yeah. I think it sold okay for what it was, for being like a low budget, smaller type game. I think it did okay for what it was from what I remember. Yeah. So what? Okay, so this is, we have everything written out. I don't know what they've done here. I'm just looking at what they've done on install base, because we're going to be looking at that. Oh no, this is this week, week 2. Where did they put week 1? Week 1. Where did they put it? Oh, they put it in a separate thread. Okay, let's look at that one. Okay, this is just so we can see the percentages anyway. It doesn't really matter. So we're gonna look. We've got the actual thing here. So we see the. This is maybe visually this it probably looks better to look at Famitsu's website just visually. It probably looks better because you can see pictures and stuff. It's not just a whole load of text. So that probably looks visually a little bit better. So yeah, let me.
Oh yeah, that's better.
It looks better. Okay. Cool. Let me turn off this tab here. Right. Yeah, King. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I think no. No. Are you there? Just imagine that. What's that? That Bugs Bunny gif? No. Just imagine that. The Bugs Bunny gif, where he's just saying no. That's what I'm saying to what you're saying about the thing. All right. Thanks a lot, King. Catch you later. All right. So let's take a look at this. Now this is this is the right one. So we've got these 2 weeks split up for us by Famitsu and the software. So we're going to go through the software first, and the hardware we're going to have to go through in just like one lump because we don't know. So what we're going to have to do is just like what people did last year. It's like we just have to literally just divide it in 2. So I think if like when we do it, we're just going to divide it into. Obviously, it's not going to be. It wouldn't have been actually split evenly like that, but we'll just do that. So okay, so here is from the 26th of December until the 1st of January this year. So let's go through some of these. Now there's going to be, these sales are pretty huge still because it's still holiday period, and yeah, the sales are still very, very big. So we've got Pokemon Scarlet and Violet sold another 155,000 units. So that now is basically a 4.5 million physical. So yeah, that's the other thing to remember, that this is just physical charts, right? So once you factor in digital, especially for some of these Nintendo games that are in the voucher program, they tend to skew really high digital, what the expensive ones. So when Nintendo puts out an RPG like Xenoblade Chronicles, for some reason in Japan RPGs are just more expensive than everything else. It doesn't matter the game, the budget, what it looks like, whatever, they are just more expensive, right? They just value those games more, I guess. So so you'll get like, it's like 7, 8, 9,000 yen, which is like super expensive. So when there's games that are that expensive, people will tend to do the voucher program, which means you get these catalog tickets. I think you have to be a Nintendo Online member, and then you will get 2 games for the equivalent of $100 US, I think it is. Something like that. So Splatoon 3 sold another 51,000 units. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 31.4 thousand units. Nintendo Switch Sports, 31,000 units. Dragon Quest Treasures, 27,000 units. Gran Turismo 7, Now, this, despite what some conspiracy theories read like this, it's not, but it's a bundled game. The reason it's here is because of bundles. That is the reason, right? And you'll see when we go through this sales chart, a pattern with the other, because the known bundled games is Gran Turismo 7, God of War Ragnarok, and Horizon Forbidden West. And you'll see by looking at this chart, that despite the PS5 hardware sales, which are going to come on to talk about, the software sales are not matching up. They're not matching up. Right, so we've got this Momotaro Dentetsu game. This is just been selling forever. I sold another 20,000 units. We've got Minecraft that sold 15,000.8 units. Mario Party Superstars, 15.7 thousand units, and then we got Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with 10.9 thousand units. So we got some other games here. I'm not going to go through every single thing after because we got 2 charts to go through, right? It's going to take ages. So hang on, I just realised I'm still sharing my my screen in Discord. 1 second. I better turn that off. That's what's affecting the stream. I'm so dumb. I'm still streaming it. Stop streaming. Okay. That's why the thing was being slow. Okay, so let's talk about. We have a Crisis Core, the Switch version here. We have some interesting developments with that. What's happened to the sales? As you probably remember, the best-selling version in launch week was the PlayStation 5 version, followed by the PlayStation 4 version, followed by the Switch version. Now there wasn't that much between them all. They were all within a few thousand units of each other. It was all within a few thousand. But what's happened is you'll see the legs of the other 2 versions have dropped off. They've dropped off. So this is the second week sales basically. Yeah, is it second or third? No, sorry, third week sales. It's third week sales.
Third.
Third, yeah. So here's the PS4 version. You can see they sold Switch version sold 9,000. PS4 version's already down to now 6,000. We go further down. Here's the PlayStation 5 version with 5.6 thousand units. So as you can see, they've kind of all switched up places there. We've got Dragon Quest 10. This came Puyo Tetris 2 came back into the charts. Here's our other bundled games: Horizon Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, and you can see 4.3 thousand, 4.1 thousand. Now these games completely disappeared. And these are PlayStation 5 versions. These games completely disappeared from the chart entirely, and then periodically, in the same weeks that PlayStation 5 sells a lot, they reappear. But you'll notice something here for this week. This is a holiday week, where PlayStation 5 sold a lot. There's not many PlayStation 5 games, and the only games that are there other than Crisis Core are the ones that are known bundles, that are known to be bundled games. And we did actually have, I was actually looking for that early, Famitsu actually said in their initial report, oh yeah, they're here because of bundles. So I need to find that. Where is that quote? Oh, it's on the part of the website. Is that one? I can't remember.
Yeah, you can basically make a rough estimate of how many of each bundle got sold looking at the software. Because you doubt there would be that many getting sold as games alone. Maybe a couple thousand, but yeah, the majority of those sales would be bundles.
It's probably not even a couple.
Especially with games like God of War and Horizon, which don't sell that much anyway. Those ones will be for example, God of War sold 4,000, and you're pretty sure like maybe 90% of that is bundles.
Yeah, because as Genki says, the other thing you need to remember is that God of War and Horizon, these franchises are not very popular in Japan. Especially God of War is super not popular there. I think when it launched like it sold. They sold like 40k upon launch or something like that. Something like that.
Yeah,
Genki?
around that.
Around 40k. So if you think that sounds a lot, you need to remember that something like didn't Triangle Strategy sell like 80,000 in its like first week or something? It was 70, 80,000.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Something
closer
like that.
to 100.
Was it closer to 100? I can't
Oh,
even
no, it was
remember.
like 80 something.
But, right, which is like, you know, that's a small game. That's just like a smaller game. Like that scenario, you're not seeing that scenario in the West. You're not gonna have Triangle Strategy outsell God of War Ragnarok in the West, but yeah, in Japan, a small game like that can sell that much. You know, when we
Yeah, even now, like
think
God
about
of
those
War, the
games.
total sales are not that high. It's like, it says 50k for PS5. Then I think the PS4 version is sold like between 15 and 20k, or it was under 20k anyway. So like,
Yeah,
yeah, the sales for God of War Ragnarok in Japan wasn't that high.
yeah, and the reason the PlayStation 5 version is so much higher is again because of these bundles, right? So that is exactly what is happening because like why would we see no other game? All we're seeing is a game that came out a couple of weeks ago, Crisis Core, with bundled games. So bear that in mind what we just saw here on this chart, right? And let's look at what happened like literally the following week, right? So this is now up. This takes us up until the 8th, right? So we've got Pokemon Scarlet and Violet sold another 135,000. Splatoon 3, 56.5 thousand. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 37,000. Nintendo Switch Sports, 35,000. Minecraft, 21,000. Dragon Quest Treasures, 20,000. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, 16.6 thousand. Momotaro Dentetsu is 14.6 thousand. Mario Party Superstars 14.5, and then oh look, Gran Turismo 13.9 thousand, PS5 version specifically. When in like I probably said this before, like usually PlayStation 4 versions outsell PlayStation 5 versions still in Japan for most games. There's been a couple of exceptions about that. Crisis Core was one of a third party one, and then we did see initially Gran Turismo did launch with the PlayStation 5 version selling more, but that was more to do with the way the anniversary edition was counted in Japan. So yeah, so that's the top 10 there. Right, so now let's look down the rest of the chart. I'm not going through everything because we've got a lot of the usual suspects, right? So we are going to look at the Crisis Core, 5.9 thousand. This is the Switch version. This is the Switch version here. And I didn't even notice a Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Sparkling. Wasn't Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl came back? Yeah, so that came back. I didn't even realise that. Yeah, and then Mario Party, sorry, not Mario Party, Mario 3D World, and blah 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 blah. Okay, so let's look down, and then oh look, those other games are gone. The second week, they've disappeared. So the other games we saw were God of War, Ragnarok, and PlayStation. Horizon Forbidden West, and then the PlayStation 5 version of Crisis Core is gone. Now here's the thing. This is another holiday week, so this would still have the holiday sales in it because we're going from the 1st of the 2nd of January to the 8th. Right? So this is still peak holiday time in Japan because New Year's is the biggest holiday, right? So this is still peak holiday time, and where's all the PlayStation games? Where are they? There's There's two. There's two, right? Two. And look,
Yeah, I think Crisis Core is the only one that's selling good by itself, like without being in a bundle.
this is going to be gone
It's
next
like,
week. This PlayStation 4 version. This is the thing that smashes it, Genki. Look at this. This sold 3.6 thousand. So the barrier of entry to get into the top 30 was only or you can call it, 3.7 thousand. That was the barrier of entry to get into the chart. And there's no other PlayStation games here. So you can kind of see what's going on here. Let's see what the chat's saying. I don't know. What are they saying? Let's see what the chat's saying. Can I see the chat?
yeah, Spencer is asking. Oh yeah, he says. Oh.
It's Genki out the Shadow
hey.
Realm. I got him, yeah.
The Shadow Realm. Okay? And then he says, "Oh yeah, this sounds perfect now." What was the culprit? I think
the
just
culprit
like the
was
audio
Jodie
channel,
being a
the wrong
dummy.
audio channel.
Genki's trying to be nice. Jodie was a dummy. That's the culprit.
I know he just had the wrong audio channel selected, so the desktop audio wasn't coming through. Yeah, that was the problem. Yeah. But yeah, it's complicated because there's like so much stuff setting up this streaming lab stuff. Yeah, I've never used it, so I have no idea how it works. But yeah, that was the issue. And yeah, Spencer says it's a shame there's no physical for Final Fantasy 14 on PS5. I'm very curious how it would do in Japan.
Well, actually, Spencer, there is.
Final...
There is physical for. Oh no, not on No, sorry. There's
not on PS5.
Not on PS5.
Probably
no, you're right. Not
PS5.
PS5. There's PS4 versions. Yeah, sorry. There's PS4 versions, but no physical PS5 versions. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, that would be cool if they made that. Maybe it would help, but maybe not.
They probably will. The problem is, Spencer,
online game,
is that it's online, so almost everyone buys it. It's just an MMO, so everyone buys it digitally. Although you can get, people do buy them. They do make and sell them. People do buy them. People like to have them as collector's items as well. So they do release a physical for every expansion, as far as I'm aware. They do release them. They do for Dragon Quest anyway. Yeah, they do for. So I remember looking it up recently, actually. Yeah. So continue, Genki.
Oh yeah, and then he says our only Final Fantasy PS5 games to compare is Strangers of Paradise and FF7 spin-off, Crisis Core.
Yeah. In terms of physical, yeah, but just no, you're right. I think it's just those. It's just those.
Then Roche, was it Roche? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's asked, how are the scalpers doing in Japan?
They're doing pretty well for themselves, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. From those pictures I saw on Twitter, it seems like they're doing quite well from themselves. But the price in Japan, at least, people trying to scalp within Japan, the price has gone down a lot. So it's almost like the same as the retail price for like people reselling them on like Mercari or Yahoo auctions. And also like there's like this beef between Japan and China at the moment.
I think there's been a beef between China and Japan for a very long time, Genki. It probably wasn't to do with PlayStation 5.
I know. Just recently, like China has restricted visa entry to Japanese citizens, and then Japan imposed like stronger COVID tests from people coming from China. So probably that might be affecting like how easy it is for people to travel, and it might affect the scalping as well.
Yeah. Maybe. So the thing is that like, as you said, the price within Japan for PlayStation 5s resold has gone down considerably. But the thing is that the yen is still weak, so they're still like export. And I think when they export them, they just send them, right? They're not like going with them or whatever, right? So they're just so they're still making a lot of money. And I know Daniel. Oh, I always forget his name. Is it Olimac? Daniel Olimac on Twitter. He found images and everything of just piles of PlayStation 5s. They are getting them from also. They get the Hong Kongese ones as well. But they're a lot from Japan because of the weak yen. So, Spencer, you've been waiting till you hear what Japan and Korea think of each
No.
Joker.
Yeah.
I'm
Why
not
can't they
getting
just
into
be
that.
friends?
We're not
Like,
getting into any of
yeah.
that. Oh god, I'm hitting red bars. Let me
It's
turn
like
myself down.
sibling rivalries. I don't know. Yeah,
Oh, it's a
they're
bit
like
stronger than
neighbors,
that.
but angry. They're very angry
I
neighbors.
think they had whole
Yeah.
wars, Genki. I think they had whole ass wars.
Yeah, yeah. I think Japanese are probably most racist is like to Koreans, and yeah, then maybe Chinese.
They are. Like, anyway, I'm not
Then
getting
maybe
into
the
they
black
are.
people
I watched the
come
whole
a lot
documentary about that. They
further
are
down.
really not.
Yeah.
It's not good.
But yeah, it's more the older people, more the older generation people.
Yeah.
But anyways, J2 asks how many units has Crisis Core sold overall, and I actually calculated it today, and it was like physically it was like 251 or 251k.
Oh, there you go. That's pretty good
Yeah.
for a re-release
Yeah,
of a
really
Final Fantasy spin-off. It's good. I would say.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So yeah, Final Fantasy is like keeping PlayStation sales in Japan alive. Barely.
Yeah, barely. So I would like to address what Zero Drag says here. How is the software attach rate for PlayStation 5s now? Last time I read it, it was dire since many of the consoles were being sold via lottery or scalped. So some of the lotteries have stopped. There's still like a little bit of it. Like, for example, if you want to buy on Amazon, this is invitation. It's basically a lottery. So they just randomly select who gets to buy it. But a lot of the stores, they're not doing lotteries necessarily. The scalping's still happening, unfortunately, and I think that will continue until either the market's literally completely flooded and it's not even worth importing them into China, or the yen like value raises. The thing is that there's still going to be some scalping and importing into China to an extent, because the Chinese PlayStation 5s are region locked. They have weirdo restrictions in China, right? We all know this. So they're region locked. So they get these imported ones because they don't have all these region restrictions on it. Now, I have been told by people that are either they're in China or they know of the Chinese situation, that it is possible to work around that and make the region locked ones region free. But the problem is that I don't think everyone not necessarily everyone knows how to do that, right? And they might not even know it's possible. They just might. There's obviously something that's causing the demand for those region free ones, right? So yeah, and so about the attach rate. Now we're gonna address this because we're gonna talk. What we're gonna do is let's talk about the hardware for this week, and then Zero Drag. I want to talk specifically about the what the attach rate is, right? Because this has been we've calculated this, and there's I mean you can kind of look at it and see, even like so the PlayStation 5s that sold this past 2 weeks, and then take you can even remove the digital PlayStation, remove that one, and then because it's like 90% like the disc version anyway. You can do that and then see, well, how many pieces of software sold, and is it like at least a 1-for-1. Now, for reference, the PlayStation 4 had an attach rate of at least 2.4. But bear that in mind. It had an attach rate of at least 2.4, right? So that's at least, there's more than 2 pieces of physical sort of software per PlayStation 5 at the so it wouldn't have been consistent the entire time it was out. And yeah, we're talking about physical software, not digital would be something else. Yeah, so that would have changed. But when you compare the PlayStation 4 when it was at the same uh like I know around 2 years, been out for a couple of years, around when it was the same place in its lifespan, in time and units, it was around 2.4 when you compare it to where the PlayStation 5 is now. So let's take a look at this hardware, Genki. Genki, you know I love it when you do the hardware, because Genki loves the hardware. I don't know why. He told me that. He didn't tell me that.
Okay. Oh, I have to make a correction. I said 250. It's actually 215
Oh,
for
okay.
Crisis Core
So slightly
overall.
less. Slightly less.
Yeah, but it's still decent for for your hardware. Yeah, let me pull up the.
Yeah, let me put it on screen for everyone. I am looking at the wrong window. This is one, right? Wait, hang on. Where is it? This is this way. Oh yeah, here it is. Combined. Oh no, they split it. Oh no, they split it for this thing. They split it here. They split it on this thing, is it? Do you have the combined? Are you looking at a combined one, Genki? Oh yeah, see they split it. They took it and they split it. They just divided it in half. Well, do you want to do this half one? Because
Oh yeah.
basically it was
I only have the combined one.
the
I don't have
combined
the half
one.
one.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah, I
just
only
like
have
this
the
times
combined
2,
one.
everyone. So it is 125. They've just divided it by 2. So the it was
Which
2.
one is that you have?
I'm just looking at install base for 'em. I'm looking at install base for 'em. That's what
Oh,
I'm
I
looking.
have the one you posted, and it's like combined.
Yeah, that's what they posted. What they did before, they've edited this post since then. Since I took the screenshot, they've
Oh, they
edited.
edited
Yeah,
it.
they edited it to.
Okay.
They edited it.
I just got the one on your Twitter.
Oh, on my Twitter, you can look at this one on the
Oh, okay. It's
You
on
might
the
as well do the
YouTube stream.
combined one, because like
Yeah.
you might as well do the combined one, because all we can do is divide it in 2, everyone, because we don't know how much sold each
Okay.
week. So
Yeah, I have the combined one from your Twitter.
yeah,
account.
so I said they've edited
your-
it. Can I get on my? Actually, I don't know if I could. No, I better not show that on the screen. Never mind. I'm not showing that on the screen. Let me go on my other window.
Okay. Yeah, I can just read this one and then
Yeah, again,
you
can
can
you
just
read it out, and
whatever you
I'll
show.
find it on
Whatever.
I'll find it on my Twitter.
Okay, yeah. So I'll just go through the hardware sales for the last 2 weeks. So it's 2 weeks instead of one. So yeah, if you want the averages, divide it by 2 for each week. And yeah, so first was Nintendo Switch, which sold 250,000 units, which is still quite decent. I think it's down from last year, which was 344. But yeah, I think yeah, there is a bit less demand, but also you have to figure out like the weeks that were like maybe the last 2 weeks were more over the New Year's holiday period, maybe. But yeah, I'm not sure how that works. Then number 2 was PlayStation 5, which sold 85,000 units, and that's up from last year, which like sold 57,000 units. And yeah, I thought they would do much better because like there's loads of stock coming in to Japan at the moment, and like it's quite available in the stores. So I was hoping it would at least be like 100K this week for PlayStation 5. But I think 85 is still better than what it's been the whole year. Like average, if like divide that by 2, it's 42.5K per week, and yeah, that's better than the average that it's been for this year. Because most of this year the average is like 20K or less. So having an average of 40K is good. It's just a bit disappointing because the prior 2 weeks the average was like 70K. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe like yeah, it's still really pricey for people, especially these bundles. So I think maybe if they bring in more like unbundled stock, it would increase the numbers and sales. Because yeah, asking people to spend that amount of people to spend like equivalent of like $600 on a console, it's like yeah, quite pricey compared to the Switch, which is like $300, uh, like yeah, equivalent um, in terms of like people's salaries and the spending money. So yeah, but yeah, 85,000 for those 2 weeks for PS5. And then next was PS4, which sold 4,100 units. And yeah, that's quite decent. Suddenly there's all this PS4 stock coming, and it's selling like like 2 or 3,000 every week. So yeah, it did okay. And then after that, we have the Xbox Series, which yeah, I was hoping Microsoft would send more stock because it's like the busiest time of the year, like in terms of shopping, and like in terms of sales, this is like the biggest period, like over the New Year's period in Japan. And like just to see Xbox, they only sold 1,739 units. Yeah, it's kind of disappointing, and yeah, I think they maybe like, especially when you look at this Xbox Series X, it's 200 units. And that's like 100 units per week if we divide that by two. And yeah, that's like really, really like almost nothing they're
100
sending to
units a
Japan.
week. If you
Yeah.
divide,
And they also like they it was the same last year. If you look at the last year,
yeah,
it was like 786 for Xbox Series. So yeah, Microsoft keep doing it. Like every New Year's, that's supposed to be the biggest sales period, but they don't send any stock. They don't really target the Japanese market
yeah,
or like increase the stocks. Yeah, so
mm,
I think with the Xbox Series S, it's in stock everywhere I go. So I guess that one has met demand seemingly. But with the Xbox Series X, it's sold out everywhere. So that one is
mm.
still like probably in demand, but they're just not sending any stock, so the numbers are super low. Yeah, and then after that was the 3DS, which sold 400. Yeah, and that was all the hardware for the last 2 weeks in Japan.
Thank you, Genki. So I've put the combined chart on the screen for everybody to see, but I was just was said you can just divide it in two because we don't know, and Famitsu will not give it to us to give us it because the same thing happened last year. You can see like here last year, 300 foot. That's 2 weeks combined as well. So yeah, basically it was the same thing. It was the same thing last year. They did that, so we never will know what the actual sales were. So we just average it out. Now, as you said, Genki, I found the hardware sales disappointing all round. I thought the Switch was disappointing. I thought PS5 and Xbox was disappointing also. Um, Switch still sold a lot. Don't get me wrong, it still sold a lot, but it's not, obviously it's not as high as last year. And last year there wasn't Pokemon. Was there? Well, hold up. No, there was Pokemon last year, wasn't there? The Brilliant Diamond,
Oh, yeah, that was the
Shining Pearl.
remakes,
But
yeah.
that's a remake. That's not a new like gen Pokemon, right? So it's not too bad.
I
All
think
in
they've
all,
just been selling like crazy, like consistently since it came
yeah.
out. So,
So yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
and
right. You're
yeah,
right, Genki. There's been
everyone
like
has a Switch now,
consistent.
probably.
You'd think. It's 20. It's almost 28 million switches in Japan. By the way, almost 28 million. So it's 27.9 million right now. So yeah, you'd think everyone has a Switch, but yeah, it's been consistent. There has been the sales have been consistent. You know, there hasn't been like any weeks where it's just there was that one week where PlayStation 5s outsold Switches by like 300 units or something like that when it went down to 30k or 34k or something like that. Apart from that, it's been like really high, but it's down a lot from last year, and yeah, so it is a point to note that the Switch is uh basically in its fit well kind of you'd say six in its sixth sales year, right? So it's not selling as well before, but when you compare it to, so you think, oh well, it's way down. It's not compare it to what the 3DS and the DS and well, DS not so much, but you like they like tapered off. Like the 3DS weren't selling like this, and it's like 6 at all. It had completely like dried up by then. So yeah, so it's selling a lot. PlayStation 5, I'm disappointed because this is 2 weeks. So we're talking it's 85 for 2, so it's like 42 something point some whatever for each week, which is down from the previous week, which was what was it? 80?
Yeah, 70.
70?
70k. Yeah.
70k.
1 week was 70k, and then the next week was like 69.
Right. So it seems like, okay, well, they said there's the stock supply issues are easing up now, and what they said they said they had been resolved, I think is what they said. What Jim Ryan specifically said. Jim Ryan, yes, you, Jim Ryan. Yeah, they said that. So and then there was obviously a lot of anecdotal evidence that we saw of PlayStation 5s in stores being sold. There were photographs on Twitter. So it just goes to show that it's at the end of the day, it's anecdotal evidence, right? It doesn't tell you the whole picture. So, and it can also be like it can kind of make one think, oh, that it's more than what it is, because obviously you just see if someone just they're excited, they've got PlayStation 5, they've posted a picture that they're excited to see PlayStation 5s in the store because they haven't been in the stores for 2 years, and it's like, oh, we see you post a picture, so they're posting pictures of something positive that can get a little bit inflated. So we actually seen the numbers here. I was hoping we would get 100k. I was like, oh, it's gonna be 100k for each week because it's holidays, New Year's, people are gonna go at PlayStation 5s, so it could be like 200k, and that didn't materialize, unfortunately. So I'm a bit disappointed by those sales for how low it was over the new. If it was like any other week. If it was any other week, then you could go, but it's this like the biggest holiday, so that is disappointing. And just to touch on Xbox, their sales are kind of cratered. This situation, as Genki said, is something that's happened every year. Microsoft does not care about the actual Japanese market, the market as in people buying stuff there in Japan that are living there. What they care about really is getting the software onto their platform to sell internationally, right? They don't really care about what's going on there. They said they're sending all their units to the States to fight Sony in the States. That's where Sony and Microsoft are battling it out. And mainly the States is the most contested. It's the biggest market, and it's the most like contested one between them. So that's where all their units are gone. So this thing of there being hardly any is not a new phenomenon. Plus the situation of there's a lot of Series S, but not a lot of Series X, or the Series X is sold out, as Genki said, in the stores. So we got kind of look at that in conjunction with like the fact that we think we don't know for certain. We think that Famitsu may have been over tracking the Xbox. They also may have been over tracking the Switch a bit, by the way, by they could be between 4 to 200,000. So we're not talking about, it's not in terms of percentage, it's like very low because of the amount of Switches that sell. But there could be a small discrepancy there. With the Xbox, it's more like it's 50% of the sales, right? So if Switch was being overtracked by 50%, that would be enormous, right? But we're talking about a few percent. Like I said, it's maybe 200,000 to 400,000. Maybe it's been. We're not certain about that. The Xbox could also be an overtrack because of the different. We're talking about when we say overtracked, I mean the difference between the figures that Famitsu gives us and what Media Crate gives us, right? So it could be that Media Crate is under tracking. We don't know. But kind of a theory that I had, or some other people had, was that that maybe Famitsu were course correcting for over tracking before, and that's why the Xbox is now like the figures are closer to reality. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see when it's out of this holiday period, when Microsoft actually does start sending units, and what that looks like when it's just like better supply, not holiday period, what the actual demand is, and what the actual demand, and this is the other thing we're curious about, what the actual demand for the PlayStation, what the actual real demand of all this scalping going on is for the PlayStation 5 in Japan. Now I know there's a few comments that have been built up. I don't want to get back to Zero Drag's attach rate thing. Spencer's saying something about we need to all come together and respect who leaders BTS and play at the altar of Jungkook. Now I'm sure that means something to someone, but I'm not familiar with K-pop. Okay, I know who BTS are. I've heard of them. They're very pretty boys. I've seen them before, but I Jungkook. I guess that's one of the members of BTS. Spencer, I don't bloody know. I don't know. So yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about this attach rate. So the attach rate. Now even if we even look at this week, so even look at this week and see how many. So no, it's like 42. So it's like 42,000 PlayStation 5s each week sold, right? So you say there's 42,000, and then of that there's let's see, the PlayStation 5. So it's almost all the disc version. So where it's here it says play just PS5. This DE is the digital edition. So this one, it says 37,000, right? PlayStation 5 sold for each week. Now bear that in mind. Let's take a look at these numbers here, right? And we'll see now even if you, like I said, this is a bundled game. Let's look at the non-bundled games, right? So this was being bundled, so it would have been already it's a code in the box, right? So you look at the this is a non-bundled game for what this is so this is week 2. We can look at week 1, right? So the non-bundled games would be just Crisis Core basically, right? So we've got 5.6 thousand there, right? And then we've got Horizon's bundled, God of War's bundled, and then hang on, was a PS4 version on here as well? So yeah, okay, so we've got the PS. Look at this. Who's the person who asked that question again? I've forgotten their name. Sorry, let me look at it quickly. What's this? It's Zero Drag. Yes, so Zero Drag. Look at this, right? You got that number in your head, right? 42,000, 37 of which is a disc version, right? The only stuff that sold that wasn't bundled was Crisis Core. So we've got a PS4 version here, 6.3 thousand, and then the PS5 version, 5.6 thousand. Now, I'm no good at doing mental arithmetic, but that's like roughly 11, alright? No, sorry, 12. That's roughly 12. So it's roughly 12,000. So 42,000 disc version 37,000 disc drive PS5 sold, and then 12,000 physical games sold. So we want to divide one by the other. It's less than one. Obviously, I don't need to work it out. It's less than one piece of physical software per PlayStation 5 being sold, right? Way less than one. What would that be, Genki? I don't know. Can you work that out? What's
No,
42,000?
I don't know.
Sorry, 37,000 divided by 12,000. I don't know, but it's way less than
No.
one. So that attach rate is pretty dire. It's pretty dire, Zero Drag. Is what I'm saying. It's pretty dire. And then the following week, this was week 1. So week 2 was even worse because we had one of those versions that dropped out. So we just have this 3.6 thousand, and then we have the Gran Turismo 7 was bundled. So we're gonna take that. It's again 37. We just divided it by 2. 37,000 PlayStation 5 disc drive version, the one that I can actually put a disc in, right? Non-bundled games. How is that so low? How is that so low? In chat, what do you? I would like to know what everyone thinks of this and what they think is going on, because that is, I mean, that's ridiculous. We compare, like, oh, good lord, we compare that to like what is going on with Nintendo. So we've got, 135,000 just Pokemon, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, 56,000 Splatoon, and then like the at the lower end we've got Dragon Quest 10 offline 3.9 thousand whatever. Yeah, obviously I'm not going to add all those up, all the different 30 to 28 software, right? But if we added that up, it's more than 125,000 per system being sold, right? That's the issue. That's the issue with what's going on in Japan. Zero Drag. I can show it a bit later if we have time. The sort of calculations that people have tried to do with working out the attachment and working out how many PlayStation 5. Then that's an interesting thing. How many PlayStation 5s are actually in Japan? We think maybe at least for the first 10 months, like a very extremely high number of them were scalped. Like if you work it out.
Oh yeah, and I think there's 2 people who asked similar questions in the chat. There's Tuvari Hong. He asked, does the lack of sales have anything to do with how the Japanese view Sony itself, because it's no longer being run by the Japanese? He said.
Well, quickly, I would say Sony is run by the Japan. That is run out of Japan. PlayStation
Sony,
isn't.
just PlayStation. So yeah, Sony Interactive Entertainment is run by Jim Ryan.
Basically,
And
yeah.
and Herman Holst is in charge of first party games. So yeah, that's what they're talking about. And he asks again, I've heard the Japanese are rejecting Sony because they're no longer Japanese, while Nintendo is still 100% Japanese. I think it's more because Sony have not moved away from catering to the Japanese market. Like Nintendo still caters completely to the Japanese market in terms of the games that they make and the consoles they make and the marketing as well. Everything is catered towards Japan, and then they cater towards the West as well with Nintendo of America. So they have 2 arms, one to cater towards Japan and one to cater towards the West. While Sony has gone more of the global approach, so it's they're just trying to cater to everyone. They're not really trying to do anything that's special for Japan. For example, with the Nintendo Directs, the Japanese ones will have these weird obscure Japanese games in them that they would not put in the Western ones. But with Sony, they just put the same thing out for everyone. And even one of the recent State of Plays, they had the Final Fantasy 16 trailer, and the VO was all in English, with Japanese subtitles. So they don't even bother putting like the VO in there for Japanese people. So I think it's just their focus has just shifted more to the global market, and they're not really doing that much like specifically for the Japanese market. They have some good advertising at the moment for Japan, but in terms of the software and in terms of what they're doing from like Jim Ryan's, like the top, like it's not they're not really focused on Japan at all. So yeah, I think that's why the Japanese people are not that interested in PlayStation this time. And yeah, and as Vinny Mac 82 says, there's just not enough compelling software to motivate someone to buy a PlayStation 5 along with the video game. I sincerely believe this is more FOMO than actually wanting the device. Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree there's not enough compelling like big hitting compelling software for PlayStation 5 at the moment. Yeah, most of the games are like Western focused, like God of War and all the other ones like Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Horizon. They're not really games for that appeal to Japan. And like, yeah, the only thing so far has been like Crisis Core, which is selling outside of the bundle. And yeah, of course, Elden Ring sold well, but that was also on PS4. GT7 also on PS4 that sold okay. But yeah, apart from those, there's not that many compelling titles. So I think yeah, the only next one is like big one will be Final Fantasy 16, and hopefully that
Mm.
shifts things a bit. But yeah, we're not sure how much it can change things. And apart from that, they would have to release like a new Monster Hunter World, or which is not on Switch, but maybe the next one will be on the new Switch. So that wouldn't help PlayStation if that happens, or like the new Dragon Quest 12 if that is like yeah, that's the only games that could really change things for PlayStation in Japan.
Which uh, Dragon Quest 12 will be on. So I can guarantee you that's gonna be on Switch. I can go into why a bit later if we have time. Uh, yeah. So I've actually got. I did tweet out about the show, but I didn't tweet like, "Oh, we're live right now." So I did that just
Oh,
now. Um,
that's cool.
so yeah. So if you can retweet that, please, Genki. If anyone's that's
Oh yeah,
listening,
no,
if
too.
you could tweet out that we're live, or oh yeah, like the stream,
Like the
please.
video
Like the
on
video,
YouTube.
and please subscribe. Please subscribe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you
Yeah,
subscribe, you'll
subscribe.
get a little notification. We'll see.
Yeah, Video Mac asks, what about Forspoken? How's that being marketed to Japanese audience? It's not really being marketed that much. There's like some YouTube ads I've seen, like it pops up on YouTube, like in some PlayStation ads, and they have some displays in store. But yeah, that game is gonna sell horribly, probably in Japan, unfortunately. Yeah, which is sad.
Yeah, I mean, if you think
But
about
it's
Forspoken, the marketing hasn't been great in the West either. We saw the
yeah,
blunder on what that weird video they put out with the way they edited it. It didn't seem good. Thank you, Kaida Player. Thank you so much. So yeah, the marketing for that hasn't been great in the West. So in Japan, it's not. And we can take a quick look at the Amazon thing because we did notably Final Fantasy 16 has moved up significantly in the
it's number 7.
Amazon.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, it's number 7 now. Okay, it was 10 like when I looked at last night. Yeah, so that has moved up a lot. So we'll have to um, see about that. Yeah, this components. So yeah, I was just reading these comments. Um,
But yeah, Forspoken's not
mm,
gonna sell great. Like, it's yeah, a comparable game would be like Horizon or God of War, but it's gonna sell like much less
worse
than
than
those.
those.
Yeah, probably like half of God of War, or something I would imagine.
So I'm thinking
Like, yeah,
like it's
it's not gonna be pretty.
20 to 30k at best.
Yeah, there's no buzz at all for it, and it's coming out in like what 11 days.
Is it 11
Yeah, and there's like
days?
yeah,
Okay.
there's no buzz for it from Japan, so I expect like maybe less than 30k or 30k max,
And
like
unfortunately, in the case
maybe.
of that game, the demo wasn't received the best. It was kind of mixed.
Yeah,
So
it would have to look to like the West for most it sells, and
yeah.
hopefully, yeah, like the saving grace it can have is like if the reviews are good.
Hmm.
So hopefully the reviews are drop like in the next week or the next 10 days, and like yeah, that positive reviews can help it. But
Yeah.
yeah, apart from that, it's gonna struggle.
Yeah. I'm not sure about what the prospects are for that game. I've got a feeling that whatever that sells, that Square Enix is probably not going to be that happy with it. And I
Yeah,
think,
definitely. Yeah, they'll need to put out Final Fantasy 16 quickly to like try and
yeah, Final Fantasy
get those sales back.
16 will do very, very, very well worldwide. Japan, we're not sure. It's not that it's not going to sell in Japan. It's just not going to be able to reach what the previous Final Fantasy games sold. So we look at 7 remake and 15 because those are the closest like mainline like regular non MMO, you know, ones that released recently. Because obviously 13 is going a bit you're going a bit far back. There's like PS3, right? So yeah. So okay, so we have been live for an hour, even though I've covered hardly anything. Don't forget, you can join us in the Discord if you want to chat with us. I'm going to find a link that works. Apparently, some of these links have been breaking. I don't know how long. Oh no, they expire after 7 days. That's what it is. Dumb.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for like next week's PlayStation 5 sales, and like I think that will set the standard for like the rest of the year. Like if they're high, then I can be like more optimistic about the PS5 sales for the next year, or at least until Final Fantasy 16 releases. But if they're like really low, then that's not a good sign for PS5 sales in Japan for the next year. So hopefully, like this next week, we'll get like a better idea of how like the rest of the year will play out for PlayStation 5
Yeah.
sales in Japan. But yeah, they definitely need those big hitters to come out soon.
So here's the link in the description if you want to you call in. So you need to join our Discord and then join the waiting room voice chat. So if you just wait in the waiting room, I'll drag you in. I would like drag you into the room. I'll put you into the room that we're in basically. Um so we talked about that. I'm gonna move on a little bit to the next thing that I wanted to talk about. Is this the right page? Yeah, yeah. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was this is still regarding PlayStation 5 and the software and everything. So there's a Twitter user and a member of this install based forum called Nocturnal. You might have seen them. They're on Twitter. Then like Nosh at Nosh10. So this is like full credit to them. I asked them a question in the install based forum. So I asked them a question about PlayStation 5 software because Nosh 10 or Nocturnal does like fantastic and does all these like calculations and like has their own like ongoing tally of the Famitsu top 30 sales, so we can have an estimate of how much software has sold within the top 30. We don't know what's going on outside the top 30 until we get the official figures from Famitsu. Will give us a top 100 probably next month for 2022, and then we will get the media create paper will be that. I mean, that's not going to be until like May or June. So when we will get the top 1,000, which gives us the closest picture. But I asked basically, can everyone see this on the screen? Okay, let me know if it's too small, if you can't read it, but I'll read it out. So I asked Nocturnal a question, and they gave me a really thorough. You can see this is pretty long. They gave me a really thorough and really good answer. So I wanted to go over this. Like I said, full credit to Nocturnal, right? So this is Nosh10 on Twitter as well. So I said, thank you for your fantastic analysis. This is the previous post they did. And then I asked them about when we're getting I'll skip that bit. So it's just answering a question about the dates. So you compared 2022 with 2020. This is in terms of software, by the way. How does 2022 compare to 2021? PS4 software has declined considerably, and PS5 has not made a difference. How much would PS5 software sales need to improve just to avoid a decline? So that's just to avoid a decline with the previous year, which is 2021. So we're talking about 2022 software here, because obviously we've only just started 2023, right? So excuse me for 1 second. I just need to use my mouse.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what the PS4 sales, like the software sales, will be for this year, because so far, like over the last 3 years, like it keeps getting like Thanos snapped in half. Like
Yeah,
2 years ago it was like 7 million, then last year it was like 3.5 million, so it got cut in
exactly.
half. So I'm interested to see what this next like 2022 will be.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is what I was asking. Nocturnal. By the way. Yeah. Hopefully I was muted when I used my spray. Then I've explained this. Maybe there's new people here. I have a condition called Sjogren syndrome. I won't go into it now, but it's a condition that affects my salivary glands and my voice. Okay, and my eyes as well, and all sorts of other things. So sometimes I have trouble talking. You're probably wondering, well, why the hell are you doing a podcast? Why do you have that problem? Because I'm trying to still live as much of my life as possible. Okay, that's the reason. Right. So let's look at Nocturnal's answer. Official Famitsu. Oh yeah, they just asked my question about the dates. So then they talked about this. So here's the top 1,000 for 2020, and this is in terms of the top 1,000 games that were out, how many were on each platform. So that's what we've got here. So we're going back on 2020. That's why you're seeing PlayStation Vita here. So obviously that's, nothing's been. I don't think anything was really released in 2020 for Vita, but there were still games within the top 1,000 that had sold on Vita, if you see what I mean. So that's what that is. So here's the numbers. It was 471 Switch, 455 PlayStation 4. This is 2020, remember? That's why PlayStation 5 is so far down. It didn't come out until the end of the year. 49 3DS, 14 PlayStation 5, and 11 PlayStation Vita, right? So that was 2020. So I asked them to do this comparison. So here's the top 1,000, the top 1,000 in 2021, right? Of the sales that, yes. So altogether it's 32 million point eight physical games sold, right? This is the Media Crate top 1,000. Of those, yes, you got, this was that you already had a situation where it was 70, almost 75% Nintendo Switch, right? PlayStation 4 here was 23.8. So this is in 2020, right? So we had almost it's 24.6 million Switch software, 7.8 million PlayStation 4 software, 23%, and then 200,000 3DS. It's at 0.61. These are kind of though. So in that first year, in 2020, and this is accurate. It was 100. You think that's so low? Yeah. So this was in 2020. In 2020, the PlayStation 5 came out like mid-November, something like that. It's 109,000 PlayStation 5 games, 0.333%. There was PlayStation Vita was still around, that's 70,000, and yeah. So that was the situation in 2020. So here's 2021. So let's look at how that compares. What's happened between 2020 and 2021. So here's the top 1,000 2021. So already we've got like most of those games in the top 1,000 were on the Switch. So it's every game. So say there's two versions of games. So say there was a PlayStation 4 version and a PlayStation and the Switch version of the set, like let's say like a Telia Riser or something like that. Say both of those were in there, and they were both in the top. They could both be, they would both be in the top 1,000, right? So that would then, one would be counted there and one would be counted here. So it's not counting one game. They're not like putting them together. They're not putting the different SKUs together. They're all separate. So if say there was a Telia Riser, right? Say the PlayStation 4 version didn't make the top 1,000, then that wouldn't be on this list. So it's not what released on each platform. It's what released, how many made the top 1,000, right? So just making it clear. So yeah, there's more than half of them is the Switch, and then PlayStation 4 380, PlayStation 5 only 74 made it, and then we've got 3DS and then three Xbox Series, which doesn't have a lot of physical games, by the way. So yeah, so the software sales were a bit down that year. So it's 27. So I think we're coming off the 2020. 2020 was like, we all know what happened in 2020. So that's why that is like that. Okay, and in terms of percentages, right? It's already now, it's 83% Switch of all the software. 23 million of it, of the 27 million sold. 23 million of it is Switch, right? So that's already what's happened there. 83% Switch. Yeah, like Genki said, it's getting Thanos snapped. Look at this, right? 23% PlayStation 4 there. We're down to 13% here. PlayStation 5 3%. You're like, whoa, hang on. PlayStation 5 only 3%. How is it not like making up the difference? This is the question I asked to Nocturnal. Then we got 3DS and that one. We can pretty much ignore those because they're so low. So let's see what Nocturnal has to say. Most of the climb from 2020 to 2021 was from the PlayStation ecosystem. Switch was down 6.35%, 1.6 million, while PlayStation ecosystem was down 43.5%, 3.49 million year over year. Now you can see why I asked Nocturnal this question, because they're brilliant, right? For PlayStation ecosystem to be flat year over year, games releasing on the PlayStation 4 and 5 would have needed to sell 2.8 million additional units than what Famitsu has tracked in the top 30 throughout the year. So because we can't see what's going on outside the top 30 until we get those official figures that from Famitsu and the media create, right? So what they're saying is that that's what would have to have sold that we don't know about, that we could when I say we, just like publicly available data that anyone can add together all these numbers, right, and make an estimate, right? So that's what they're saying. Right now, the known PlayStation ecosystem sales are 2.44 million, PlayStation 4 1.5 million, and PlayStation 5 0.9 million. So that's for last year, right? That's what's known. If you just add up from when we did the top 30, you just add all of that up for the whole year, and that's what we know for what's sold from PlayStation. So that means there would need to be an 85% more sales that Famitsu didn't register in the top 30 for the situation to be flat, right? It'd have to be an 85%, because it's an 85% difference. That's what it would have to be. Outside the chart, we don't know about. This isn't very likely. What is more likely to occur is the PlayStation ecosystem as a whole will be down by another 35% year over year. That's not accounting for bundles, which inflated the total. We've discussed the bundle situation. So a 30% decline would be about 3.17 million across the top 30, right? That's what it would look like. And a 40% decline would be about 2.7 million across the top 1,000. I think PlayStation 5 needs to be selling 3 times the amount of software it was doing in 2022 for the PlayStation ecosystem to be flat, aka to make up for the natural decline of the PlayStation 4 as it's been phased out. This isn't happening. I don't think we can assume PlayStation will ever be able to sell, or PlayStation 5 will ever be able to sell over 5 million physical units in Japan unless things drastically change starting this year. So I wanted to go through that. So this is a very, very, very thorough answer, right, Genki? Is Genki there?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Yeah, he's
yeah.
there.
So,
Yeah, what do you think about that? What are your thoughts?
yeah, I think it's troubling. Like, yeah, it's not a good sign. Like how the numbers are just dropping off like that. So yeah, that's what concerns me most. Cause like, yeah, I don't want the PlayStation market in Japan to like go down to like such low percentages, like less than 10%. But yeah, that's what's happening at the moment with the software sales.
Yeah, so this is what's happening with the software sales. And there's like multiple. I mean, we've gone through some of the reasons for why this is happening. Um, the fact that it's happening so fast pretty much took everybody by surprise. I didn't think it was going to go down that fast. When we get like the official numbers from like the top, we get the top 100 first from Famitsu, and then we'll get the media crate later, much later this year. You know, it's gonna be like 90% switch, something like that. Yeah, so when we get the numbers for 2022. So this is what Nocturno was saying would have had to have happened outside the top 30. Yeah, for there not to be a decline, the PlayStation 5 is not, it's not picking up the slack at all. But like I said, this is the calculations for what has happened in 2022, not for what is going to, because obviously we don't know what's going to happen, right? So this is like, we're looking at what would have to have sold for the decline not to be so big between 2021 and 2022. This is even before we're getting on to like what is going to happen in 2023 with the the PlayStation 5. So it's looking a bit dire, and I know like Genki, you're a little bit concerned. A lot of people have expressing concerns about what is going to happen and what's going to happen in the future. And I think one of the things is that although now Sony are improving stocks and I mean, obviously the holidays wasn't as good as we had hoped. They are shipping more to Japan. Like, I feel like there's just a number of, like, it's just lots of little decisions that they've made that have contributed to this over the thing. So we do have a question here. Do you know, funnily enough, this question you asked, I can give you an exact answer to that question, but I'll need to find it. 1 second. Because this whole situation with what's going on in Japan with PlayStation has been discussed. We've been discussing this in the sales community for years. By the way, if you want to talk about, if you're like a nerd, if you're a nerd like me, and I don't know if Genki usually low key is a nerd as well. But if you are nerds, the best places to go and talk with other nerds is in store-based forum, and also Reset Era would be another one, and another one is like Famiboards. That's more Nintendo though. Famiboards is also a good place. So Reset Era, a lot of people probably heard of Reset Era, and then also Twitter. There's a lot of discussion on Twitter, of course, and different people you can follow. I recommend you follow Noshten, not then Nosh at Noshten, at so that's like NOSHTEN on Twitter. So I recommend you follow them. Now this question about Tuvari Hong, you ask, when Sony operated Japan studio, did any of those games sell well in Japan? Some sold okay, and then there's like one, like for example Gravity Rush, or I think it's called Gravity Days in Japan, that famously flopped like everywhere, Japan and worldwide, even though very well regarded games. They're very good games with a really like wonderful, really beautiful art style and great music and everything. But they didn't have, the problem is that they didn't have they didn't have a lot of appeal. I think to be honest with you, I think it had a lot to do with the gameplay, with like just how you had to play that game. With the gravity and everything, it's kind of like, and the original game was on the Vita. So the original game was on the Vita, then it got ported to PlayStation 4, and then there was a Gravity Rush 2, and they didn't sell very well, unfortunately. You thought Gravity Rush was more popular. Yeah, unfortunately, that game really did kind of flop. Yeah, it didn't do well at all. But in regards to your other question, let me just, sorry, I'm just going to hide that thing, 'cause I need to find it. I can answer that question, like what exactly they sold. No, that's the wrong one. Hang on. Because, like I said, we've talked about this in the sales community so much. There is now, if you have a lot of time on your hands and you really are like a hardcore nerd and you want to know what is going on or what other people think, I recommend you to look at this thread that I'm going to find, that I can't find right now. Where is it? I can know it's just too much pressure. It's too much pressure trying to find the thing live. It's too much pressure. Genki's going to ad-lib though.
Oh, okay. About Japan Studio. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like,
oh, wait, I found it.
Oh, you found it. That's good.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea how they sold. I don't think any of them were like.
I can tell you exactly how they sold. I have exact figures because people in the sales community have fucking worked it out. I'm not taking credit for any of this. We can take it this. Gosh. Okay, so this is like a really long thread that just tells you how, in general, PlayStation, their games sold. What they sold in Japan. Do you want to like, this is like all it used to be SCE and SIE first party. We're talking about all first party games in Japan and what they sold. As we know, or I'm sure most of you know, that PlayStation is quite, or has been historically quite third party driven, right? Say a lot more than Nintendo, right? Although recently PlayStation have they've been putting more emphasis on first party, I would say, and what they're trying to do, they're trying to grow it. They're expanding their studios and hiring people and blah 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 blah. But yeah, I do have an answer for you. But I can tell you what first party games sold. I have figures for that. I don't necessarily have figures for just Japan. I'd have to look that. If I could look up a specific game or something on the game data library or something. But yeah, let's have a look at this. So I'm gonna unmute this. Okay, so if you are complete nerds, right? This thread here is 54 pages long. It is called "The Reasons and Consequences of the Decline of PlayStation in Japan." So you can see this thread was started at the end of 2021. This is we've been talking about this for a long time. So if you've got time on your hands, you can take a look at this. Installbaseforum.com. If you're really interested, you can you have to sign up to the forum. As far as I know, you can't see the posts without signing up. Okay, so let's take a look.
I think you have to sign up.
You have to sign up for this site, and they have to like vet you and all this type of thing. You can't just like join just like that. But anyway, so here we go. Let's have a look. This was made by Aquamarine. This is the thread starter. So yeah. So this is because it's a recurring topic. They made a separate thread. Yeah. Don't forget, this is the end of 2021 where the situation was dire, but it was like not even as dire as it is now. So they made this just after the PlayStation. No, when did that come out in 20? No, that came out in 20. The PlayStation 5 was already out at this point. Sorry. So they've got some figures from the Media Create White Books, which is what Media Create puts out every year, the top 1,000 and other data in it with the Japanese video game market. So here they are. Look, here's SCE and SIE total first party retail software sales in Japan per year. And they're going from 2013. So I guess they're going from the PlayStation 4 basically, which I think the reason they're going from 2013 was because it didn't come out until 2013 in Japan, I think. Yeah, because it was like February 2013. I think the PlayStation 4 released in Japan. So we've got here like how much they sold, right, and what percentage this is. I guess it's a percentage of total PlayStation sales, of what total of PlayStation sales, and what percentage of those were first party games. So you can see it's pretty low. In 2014 it was 3.91, and in 2020 it was 4.83. So it was like 5. But you can see it hasn't really changed that like much, really. It's like 1 point something million. So this person's saying, Aquamarine is saying, notice a stagnating presence in the market hasn't improved in the 8 years despite the explosive worldwide success of PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. And then you compare that to Nintendo, which kind of it's kind of like a landslide comparison, really. Even in 2013 with the Wii U being like a complete and utter flop, right? But the 3DS was okay. So yeah, Nintendo and Pokemon Company. Pokemon games are published by the Pokemon Company in Japan. Internationally, Nintendo publishes them, but within Japan, the Pokemon Company publishes them. That's why it's listed here separately. But for all intents and purposes, you can count this as the same thing. Because Nintendo controls. It's a first party game basically, and Nintendo has such a controlling interest in the Pokemon Company, right? So we can see here what it was in 2013. So we had 4 million whatever Pokemon games were that year. Nintendo's 9 million, and then the percentages here, which is like, you know, a lot higher of the total software here. It's a lot higher because, oh no, that's just total here. It's a lot higher because of Nintendo being a lot more first party driven. See, it's like 18%, 6%, 23%, 2%. So it's already a lot higher than what we was seeing with PlayStation, right? So yeah, and then they're going on this week. This is also reflected in total PlayStation ecosystem software sales, and yeah, so they're just going in and looking at each year what you put in PSP, PS3, PS2 together from 20 to, they're going from like 2009, right? 2009, and we're looking at what these are: 27, 21. I mean, that's big jump, isn't, you know? There is a rise in digital, but that's more to do with, you know, what was going on with the PlayStation 3 not being. This is a decline from the PlayStation 3. Let's go down. This is more to do. This is not just digital, rise in digital. Because look how fast this goes. 19 million in 2013, 16 million in 2014, 14 million 2015, 15 million 2016, 12 million 2017, 11 million 2018, 9 million. And this is all sales, by the way. This isn't just first party. This is like everything, right? So then it's 2019. It's 9 million, and then in 2020 we've got 8 million, right? So that was in 2020, and we've seen what it is now. It's not no 8 million. It's way lower than that. We're getting like 3 million now, and yeah, compare that to saying compared to Nintendo 41 in 2009, 41 million to 2010, 33 million, 2011, 23 million, 2012, because that's, we're going on here for the Wii U, which didn't do that well. The Wii U still had million sellers on it though in Japan, that's the thing. 27 million there, it's still 27 million in 2013, in 2014, 26, 2015, 22, this is the Wii U flopping, right? 2016, 16 million, and then 2017 it's gone up to 19 million. What was it? Switch has come out. Switch came out. And then 2018, 16 million, 2019, 17 million, 2020 is 24 million. Now this is only goes up to that 2020 because of when this thread was started. But we saw what it is, and we just looked at what it is now for 2021. Yeah, so it's like what the total software sales are now for 2021. Yeah, you can see it was 27 million, 23 million of that was on the Switch. So look, it's not even that much of a decline really, and that was because it was so high. It got high in 2020 because of COVID and everything. So yeah, they've made a chart here. I hope this is helpful, by the way. Is everyone listening to this, or are they getting bored? I don't know. Genki, are you there? Yeah. Genki said he had to pop out. He'll be back in a sec. Alright, so yeah, you can see here the blue is PlayStation and the red is Nintendo. And what's happened from 2009 to 2020. There's a general downward decline trend, but that's because of digital. 2009 there wasn't really digital, right? Sales, so there's digital, but you'll see that Nintendo is like more even. It's not like going down. That even went up, and PlayStation is just down and down and down and down. So there's a retail soft by platform. Okay, and it's so interesting looking back on what people said, what they were saying in 2021. They're saying, looking forward to 2021, there are further indicators of PlayStation's decline in Japan. For example, PlayStation 5 software sales seem disproportionately small to the amount of hardware they're selling, which we just discussed that. The top 30 is dominated by Nintendo titles. Famitsu reported the best-selling PS5 software for PS5 from April to September 2021 was Resident Evil Village, which only managed 69,000 package units, which is pretty low. Right. Famitsu also reported the install rate of packaged software PlayStation 5, which is 7%, less than 7%. Good lord. Publishers previously swearing to PlayStation exclusively. Hi Genki.
I'm back now.
Like Falcom have announced Switch development. So this was in end of 2021, and we've seen what's happened. Specifically Falcom. Now they're saying the reason they're saying swearing to PlayStation exclusively because Falcom never had any type of deal at all with PlayStation. They just did that because they just wanted to publish on PlayStation. But it got to the point where their sales were so low and what was going on, they had to start Switch development. And we know now that East 10, the next whatever East game's coming out, is going to be Switch and PlayStation. Yeah, and they're asking what are the reasons for decline? Can it be stopped or mitigated? Can Sony bounce back? Or is PlayStation destined for obscurity? Has Sony written off the Japanese market? Or is this all for fear-mongering / overbuttons / supplanted by digital and the decline is mild at best? I'd like to hear your thoughts. Yeah, this was last edited December 2021. So this is what we're saying. This is 2 years ago. So yeah, this not it is not all digital. It's not all digital. So yeah, what are people saying in the chat? I hope that maybe answered your question Thank you, Tuvari Hong. Haven't all modern East games been on Switch and PlayStation? Well, there were a couple. There was late ports of East 8 and 9 to Switch. Well, actually, was East. Yeah, I think they were both late ports. East 8 was a very late port, obviously, because that was. I think it was originally a Vita game or something like that. So, no, they haven't all been. I mean, you could say yeah, those two were late ports to Switch, I believe. But as for the rest of the games, like the Trails of Heroes and all of that, they still the last Legend of Heroes. I said Trails of Heroes, Legend of Heroes game that came out. And was it towards the end of last year? When did it come out? It was last year anyway. That was there was no Switch version of that game. It was only on PS4 and PS5, and it sold like 60,000 copies, which was the same as what the previous game sold to that. But that was like way down for they those games used to sell 200k. You know, just a couple of years before that, and that's not all Horizon Digital. That is like the PlayStation software sales going down that much. So it was either you make your games for Switch, or you know, especially for a company like Falcom, who they don't do worldwide global releases. They make their games, they license them out to like NIS America, who then they completely they localize the games, and they do all that, and then I think they also work with like maybe Cloud Leopard or something, or someone to get them done in some other Asian countries and things like that. So yeah, when it comes to their games, like they had was like we don't do they for whatever reason they were very reluctant to do that, to start developing anything on like to be like at launch on Switch. They've done late ports, but they no. In the case of Falcom, they haven't managed to build up a significant audience for those Legend of Heroes games on Switch, because they put them on the old ones on Switch, like really old ones, are out of order, and those games you've got to play them all because the story stretches across like multiple games and all this nonsense, and I mean in general, them doing that structure has meant that the audience for those games has not been growing in general, because like it's like, oh, okay, well, where do I start? Oh, you should start. Oh, I would play the one that's just come out. Oh no way, but this is part of this series that goes back 10-15 years, and it's this sub-series and this sub-series, and this is connected here, and da 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 da. It's like I said, it's like jumping into Breaking Bad season 4. You know, you can't just do that. So yeah, Genki, what do you think? Oh, Vinnie Mac's here. Vinnie Mac, why didn't you message me? I didn't see. How long have you been waiting? Oh shit, sorry, Vinnie Mac.
Oh yeah, you can add him into the
Sorry, I didn't see you waiting there.
Discord.
I apologise. Did you write something in the Discord? Maybe you did. My apologies.
I think so.
Let me check the chat. Did you put something in there? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Vinnie Mac. Next time, just either DM me or drop it in the notice board on the Discord, so that I know that you want to chat. So I should have said that actually. If anyone wants to chat, you can just join, but please message, because the thing is I'm not like a professional streamer where they have like multiple screens and everything. If I have one window up, like I had the browser window up, which is covering the whole screen, so I didn't see the other stuff. I can make the browser smaller, but it resizes the thing. Yeah. So Vinnie Mac, welcome.
You guys are on a roll, so I did not want to interrupt. So I was just happy just sitting back and listening to the knowledge. So
I was on a roll.
Good day to the both of you. Phenomenal show you guys are having. So great job.
Thank you so much.
I did want to bring up a quick question. I guess something that has to do with a little bit of sales, but actually something a little more fun too. The next time we get together, two things should be happening. We know that Fire Emblem Engage will be released, and we should have a better idea about Forspoken. Hopefully, maybe that review embargo may be released, or the game leaked, or whatever the case may be. I'm interested in, one, how does the team think it's going to sell first week? And two, I'm interested in your Metacritic scores, specifically Engage, since we know that will come out. Know that The highest one is, I believe, Shadow of. Let me see. I was just looking it up, but I believe one of the older Fire Emblem games has the highest rating. The Shadow Remake has the highest rating, along with Awakening at 92. Shadow Remake has an 81, and Fire Emblem Three Houses has an 89 Metacritic score.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not predicting that Engage is going to be as high as that. I think it's going to be in the low to mid 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm interested in your opinion on one, how do you think Forspoken is going to do overall, Metacritic score, sales overall, and what's your Metacritic score for Fire Emblem Engage? I'll sit back and listen.
Thank you very much for the question, Vinnie Mac. I don't think I know if I'm necessarily the best predicting Metacritic scores. Thank you for telling us all the Metacritic scores, because the only one that I actually knew off the top of my head was Three Houses, because obviously that's fairly recent, right? Yeah, that was an 89. I didn't know there was one that went up to 80. What did you say? 90. Sorry, 92 was one of them.
Yeah, that was Awakening that kind of re-sparked that whole Fire Emblem genre, and kind of
It
revived it.
basically saved the Fire Emblem, the Awakening doing so well on 3DS. It basically saved the franchise.
And I know with Engage, just with all the previews and all the buzz around it, I know it's going back to a more traditional sense as opposed to that
Yeah.
sweet, persona in it. So I'm wondering how it's going to score, coming off three houses, which was a huge departure in my opinion from what Fire Emblem was, and going back to a little more of a traditional Fire Emblem. I'm wondering what your opinion is in terms of how it's going to score overall. So
I think
I think it'll score really
I think your
high.
score was
To be
good.
honest.
I was gonna say it's gonna be like mid 80s. I think it's gonna be mid 80s.
I think it'll be high 80s.
High
That's
80s?
what I
That
predict.
could
Yeah.
be. The
Like,
reason I say mid 80s is because I think, as Vinnie Mac said, it's a more traditional Fire Emblem game, and I think that it might not have like the romance elements that the other Fire Emblem games since Awakening have had. I've heard that it might not have those options, and I think the reason they did that was because it's bringing in all these past heroes and stuff. It's supposed to be more like a celebration slash anniversary game, because I think this game, maybe they wanted it to release last year, which I think was that like the 30th anniversary or 35th anniversary of, I can't remember which one. Fire Emblem's pretty old, I know that. I think that maybe this was going to be last year or something like that. So it's more of a celebration. I think so I think that if those romance elements aren't there, that it's going to score lower, because people like the romance and the marriage and all of that. That would be my guess. What was you saying, Genki?
I'm thinking like high 80s, 88 probably, or 89. I think because it's going back to that Fire Emblem Awakening model more
Yeah.
so than the three heroes. More focused on like the battling and stuff as opposed to like character relationships and stuff. So yeah, I think it will score pretty high just for the gameplay improvements and the graphical improvements as well.
That's true. There is some graphical Yeah, I
well,
have.
since you are now a newly industry insider, your word is kingdom. Spread all over the
Oh my
place.
god.
Genki said, Fire Emblem 80s.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was great.
It's what
Yeah,
it-
apparently I'm a industry insider, according to IGN. So you know,
Wear the
apparently it's
crown.
official.
Wear the crown proudly.
Thanks.
Yeah, that'll be my guess, Vinnie Mac, with the Metacritic. I'm just thinking. It's just because like the Three Houses was the first like proper Fire Emblem. I know there was like the Warriors game or whatever. It was like the first proper Fire Emblem game on the Switch. So I think that maybe like being like the second Fire Emblem game on the Switch. And I'm thinking that there have been like some graphical and other improvements. I know in terms of like comparing Engage to Three Houses, it looks a lot better. Like I think they went for more clean and more simple art style. I really like the character designs.
Yeah, the design, the art style of the game is much more like I think it's better than Three Houses, and like the art design of the game. Yeah, and also probably the performance is a lot better as well in terms of
Apparently
like
it
how
is,
it runs.
I did watch a digital. I never normally watch those digital foundry things, to be honest with you, but I did happen to see that one for Fire Emblem Engage, and they said pretty much for the most part it's 30 everywhere, apart from some instances of like certain animations when there's more going on the screen, but it's almost always 30. And they had the thing on the screen, and it's like there's just like a few dips here and there, and it's like pretty stable, to be honest with you.
Jacob, I do know that you are tracking the comps, the pre-orders. Have you seen a spike since you last tracked it?
Sorry, say that again, please. You broke. By the way, chat. Let me know if you can hear Vinny. I didn't even ask. Can you hear Vinny Mac? Okay. So can you please say that again, Vinny Mac?
Yes, ma'am. I know you were tracking the pre-comp, so I was wondering if you noticed a significant spike since you last tracked the pre-orders for Engage.
There has been. There has been. I'm gonna have to go and check in with one of our friends in the sales community, who I know tracks this, and that's Pierre. I'm gonna look up what Pierre said, because Pierre's been doing charts and everything. I'm gonna check up on that. While Genki talks.
Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, I see his tweets pop up, and like it's always like the tracking is always like much higher than Three Houses.
Yeah.
So it looks like it will sell better than that.
Let me see.
Which is really good.
Did he do a chart recently? Did they do a chart?
Probably. He's always posting in the charts. Like, every
Oh, here we
few
go.
days.
I think this is the most recent one from January the 6th. So I'm going to display this in the thing here. So here we go. Yeah, can everyone see this? Okay, God, I keep forgetting to put dark mode on this thing. Right, so here we go. Like this is Fire Emblem Engage compared to Three Houses at Comeg. I don't want to get into this thing that I know it's not called Comeg, right? That is what I'm calling it. It's called Comeg. Yeah, I think they just call it. What do they call it? What do they call it? They call it something net or something. Yeah, Comeg net. Oh, it's not called Comeg net, but I can't bloody remember. So anyway, yeah, here's Fire Emblem Engage versus Three Houses at Comeg, which is a chain of stores in like a particular. I think it's in like one prefecture in Japan. I don't know if it's in more than one prefecture.
In Japanese, they said Kongu.
Is that what they actually call it?
Oh, it's written in katakana, so it says Kong.
When they write in katakana, they actually call it Kongu. Because when you go onto the website, the name of it is like called something else. But yeah, you're right. It might be Kongu. Right. So, but I don't care, Genki. I'm calling it Comeg.
That's cool.
Just like what was the other one? Gale. I know it's called Gale. I don't care. I'm calling it Geo, which is, by the way, they did actually name that. I tend to like someone was saying, why is it even called that? They did actually. It is Geo, like in terms of like where they got the name from, meaning Earth. It is actually from that, which is like Latin or Greek or something. So they do actually mean that, but obviously they're Japanese, they don't pronounce it like that. But I'm pronouncing it Geo. I don't care. Anyway, so here's cool. I just think it's funny. Okay. Here's Fire Emblem Engage versus Three Houses, and look at this. What's happened here? The Japanese retailer has recorded almost 140 pre-orders, nearly double the pre-orders of Three Houses launch aligned. So here we've got Engage with on the orange line here, and you can see it's way ahead. It's like weird. So it's gonna launch a lot bigger. Like, as for what it's gonna launch, it says this is the thing. Finimac, Fire Emblem Engage, and like a lot of these Nintendo first party games, they're in the voucher program, which I'm sure you know is like if you, I think you need to be a Nintendo Online member because they have it here as well in Europe. So they sort of they advertise. You see, you see it, right? These voucher tickets, so you can get two games for £100. I think here, so maybe it's 100 or just over £100 or something. So the equivalent of like $100, something like that, right? So you buy two. So a lot of people, because these games are so expensive, it's like the pricing in Japan's kind of wild. They don't have like a completely set price, like, oh, it's $60. Like, it's not like set at the equivalent of $60. It's all over the place. I can show you because we'll have a look on Amazon. But yeah, let's look at Amazon Japan and see, because I can't remember what the price is for this, but it's going to be over. This is easily over 7,000 yen, right? For Fire Emblem Engage, it's got to be. So they're like more than, if it's an RPG. Like I said, I don't know the exact reason why. I think it's just because there's RPGs are normally really, really long, right? And it's like they're usually valued higher in Japan. Like, it doesn't even matter what. Like, it's not like, oh, well, this one's a higher budget game, so this one costs more, and then that one's like a lower budget. It's like, no. Like, when they were selling, like, God, I was trying to think of some like low budget RPGs. I'm sure that Trinity Trigger was expensive. We was talking about Monarch earlier. I think that would have been the same price, and you can, that's like a low budget game, right? So yeah, it's. Vinny sounds good. You sound a bit quiet. Oh, Vinny, who sounds quiet? Me or Vinny? I'll raise Vinny up a bit.
I think they're saying you're.
No, I'm here. I'm just. I don't want to interrupt. So
no.
I'm just
We just asking about the audio. Jago, please let me know whether
they're saying Vinny says sounds okay, but your audio is a bit low.
So as in Jodie.
Jodie, yeah.
Do I sound low? Can I raise me up? Wait. How do I raise my audio on this thing? Oh, I'll just do it directly in the Dang, because I'll be hitting red bars. I've raised me up a bit. If you did mean Vinny, please let me know, Jago, and we'll have a look at that. Now, let me just do this for 1 second. So I've got to do that because I don't know what I'm signed into and what I'm not signed into. I don't want to like dox myself. So, yeah, no, this is fine. So we're gonna look at Amazon Japan, and then we're able to see the prices because I have the prices on here. Amazon Japan is not. They're not necessarily because it's Amazon, right? So whatever you see here is not necessarily like the retail price. Even brand new games, they might be lower. Yeah, like I say, for example here, Fire Emblem Engage, the list price, so the recommended retail price is 7,000 and something yen, but they're selling it for 6,600, even though it's a brand new launch. That's what Amazon does. Amazon does that because they're able to, because they're such a huge company that they can undersell things, basically. Or it depends what it is. They can sell. They do it to. It's their aggressive, it's knocking out other businesses so other people can't compete with them. That's why they do that. But let's take a look. Jodie's volume is fine. You were just talking softly earlier. Oh yeah. Let me make sure the I'm about roughly, let's say 1 foot away from the microphone. Got a new microphone, Jago. Got a new microphone. Well, obviously because I told you before. Yeah, Mr. Lego bro, thank you for subscribing. Thank you very much. Did it make a noise when that came up? The little panda thing? Let me know if that did make a noise. I don't know. It's supposed to make a little noise. I can't hear it here though, because I can't hear the desktop. Yeah, let me know if it made a little alert earlier.
Oh yeah, it came up. There's the pandas that are running. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the Amazon chart. So the price. I'm gonna make this bigger because I know like the way it displays is kind of weird here. So yeah, Fire Emblem Engage is actually number 1, Vinny Mac. If we look at this, like this says the. Oh wait, is this doxing me? No, I'm not signed in. But he knows I'm in the UK because it's just the. Wait, this definitely isn't doxing me, is it? I'm not signed in. How can it be doxing me? Hang on a sec, everybody. I need to make sure. What the fuck? Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. That wasn't a swearing. I don't know what you just heard just then, but it definitely wasn't swearing. I'm not signed into this stupid thing. Okay, it just knows I'm in the UK. It's not like putting my address. I might need to drop in a Japanese. What was that one? 601 8501. 601 8501. Do you know what that is, Genki? That is the postcode for what do I call it? Nintendo in Kyoto. Because I needed the Japanese postcode. So okay, I'm gonna put this back on. Yeah, the reason if you put in like a Japanese postcode, it will like actually show the because sometimes it doesn't display. So we can't deliver it. They just mean they don't have available to deliver outside of the country, but within the country. So yeah, here's Fire Emblem. This is bestsellers here. So the list price is 7,678 yen, but it's So the reason it's reduced is because it's Amazon, and they're able to aggressively do their prices like this. But you can see that one is number 1, Vinny Mac. So Fire Emblem Three Houses, I think, launched at, it was about 140,000, I think, when that came out. So this is going to be 200k. It's been here for ages as well. It's been up like the chart for a while. So I think this is going to launch at like 200k plus. What do you think, Genki?
Oh, that's a lot, right? Yeah, I think it would do. Yeah, that would be crazy, 200k. But yeah, I think it would do like, around. Yeah, I'm hoping over 150k.
So here's the thing, right? Because this is in the voucher program, because of these games being expensive, you can see, look, this is like it's already 1,000 yen more than Pokemon here, right? And that's with the reduced price of it. This is what I mean about the Pokemon company are not so, their prices are not so high, but normally every other RPG is high. And you can see that this is a Nintendo published Splatoon. I don't know what the list price for that is, but it's 5,591 yen for that one. But yeah, that's as you can see. But you can see, Jago, the price is all over the place. This is how it is with they don't have standardized pricing. Don't know the reason why. I just think they just never have had that, so they've just never been put in. So because of this high pricing and these games being in the voucher program, a lot of people opt to get them digitally with the voucher program, which means the digital rate for these Nintendo first party games that these RPGs is like really, really high. So we think that for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 it was like 50 to 60% digital, which is not the normal digital rate for averaging in Japan. You're talking like maybe 30% digital in Japan at best. So that is not normal. That's not the norm. So if this does, say for example, this launched at, like Genki said, 150k, which I think is going to be higher than that, Genki. Because like as I said, Three Houses is like 140k, something like that. So even 150k, you'd have to double it to see what the actual launch was. So if you're talking plus 200k, you're talking maybe it's 400k in reality what it shipped. So it's actually going to launch big, which is like pretty. Yeah, I think it's going to launch big. I think people are no pun intended. I think they're engaged with this. No, I did intend the pun. I'm lying.
I see what you did there. That was clever.
I think they're engaged with this with this particular title because I'm looking at. Look, I mean, even look at the cover for this, right? Look at the cover for this game, right? You got the dual protagonist here, but who's? I'm swearing again. Sorry. Who's the biggest on this thing? On this, it's Marth. Marth is like the biggest character. Like, look how big his face is on this cover. And he is like, is he from the first Fire Emblem game? Isn't he from like the first one? Fire Emblem fans, does anyone know? The rest of these are all new characters, I believe. These ones in the background, but Marth is not a new character. I think he's from the first Fire Emblem game. Somebody will have to tell me. So you can see her. Yeah, they're quite. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm surprised they don't have marriage in this game when they literally have rings, and the game's called Engage. I don't know, but apparently, yeah, maybe there isn't. Anyway, like this things are going a bit crazy. Right. Do you want to look at the rest of this chart, everybody? Let's look at the Amazon bestsellers. Since we don't have any other callers, if you want to call, I don't think we have any other callers, right? No one in the waiting room. Vinnie Mac's here. Vinnie Mac, feel free to chime in anytime. You didn't have any sound.
I'm still gonna go with my. So I'm still gonna go with my original post that had to do with the PlayStation 5. I still don't think there's any compelling games right now, especially since most of the games are cross-gen anyway. So having your PlayStation 5 is really just. I know we talked about PlayStation 5. That's why I'm kind of referencing back as opposed to having off Engage. I think that could be the reason why you're not seeing like a huge stock. I don't know, are people really gunning for a PlayStation 5 only to play their games backwards compatible? I guess we're gonna have to wait to see how Final Fantasy 16 does. I'm sure that will have that should boost PlayStation 5 demand since that is only a PlayStation 5 game. But I guess we'll see. I was kind of hoping that maybe Forspoken would do that, but it looks like there's not a lot of buzz behind that. That will be interesting to see how that sales does because that is made by Square Enix. So, you will hope there's a little bit of push behind that. But if there's no push, then it'll be interesting to see how the sales turn out.
So we can take a look at that. We can take a look at that, Vinnie Mac, with the pre-orders. We can get some answers from that. I just wanted to quickly comment on the chat. You didn't hear the sound for the notification. Okay, so it wasn't just me then. You literally didn't hear the sound. If I do this, I'm going to do a test one. I'm going to do a test notification. And then test, is it this one? Test widget. And then can you, did that make a noise just then? I did test one. Let me know if that one made a noise, please. How do you turn that on? Open advanced audio settings. Chat box test. Alert box. Yeah, it should be on. It should be on. So yeah, let me know if you heard it. Let's take a look at Amazon Japan, as I want to do. Amazon Japan. So we have some very interesting stuff when you talk about PlayStation 5 software. Let's specifically look at some PlayStation 5 software, okay, Vinnie Mac? When we're looking through this stuff. Now, with the usual suspects here, I'm not going to go through, the Nintendo stuff. Final Fantasy 16 has actually moved up to number 7, which is very good. It's very good because this game's not out until June. And look at the price of this, Vinnie Mac. Let's talk about the prices. Look at the price of this game. It's 8,000 yen. It's 8,000 yen. When you convert that into US dollars, how much is that? Roughly. I'll look it up in a sec. 8,000 yen to.
It's about $625.
It's $620. $600.
No, it's probably like $60 or something.
It's probably equivalent to $70 because.
Sorry, you said 8,000. I put in 80,000. My fault.
No, sorry, 8,000. Yeah, no, 80,000.
That's about $63.
Yeah, not even Square Enix is that crazy. But the reason that's low is because it's the yen's I forgot about that. The yen's depreciated. So this would have been the equivalent of $70, Vinnie Mac, but that $7 there off is where the yen's depreciated. So that's very good that that's got up that high so early before, because I did, say what is going on with this game. It's still not in the Comeg. I don't know why it's not in the Comeg charts, and it is like, and the Geo pre-order chart, it's like right at the bottom. So the pre-orders have been stopped. Now the reason why is because every other Final Fantasy game, the pre-orders are explosive, like right off the bat, and that just did not happen with Final Fantasy 16, even on Amazon Japan. That didn't happen.
The in-store pre-orders just came out like last week, maybe. Cause,
no, it came out it was the same time as
really?
Yeah, because I remember looking it up. Because everyone was like, did we make a mistake? Maybe it's not pre-ordering in Japan, and we like double check and triple checked, and it's like, no, the pre-orders are open. So it was open from the same time. It just wasn't. It just taken this time on Amazon Japan to pick up. So
I feel like we need Yoshi P to come out and just say, hey guys, there will or will not be a PS5 bundle, because you've got to imagine a lot of people are just thinking there's got to be a 16 bundle they're going to try and pick up.
Yeah, definitely there should be one. Yeah, they always did like Final Fantasy bundles, like
at launch.
Special. They had like special editions. Hopefully that's like the first special edition.
I don't think it'll be. Yeah, I don't think it'll just be like how we see Horizon, God of War. Like it's just a copy thrown in there. It'll be like, because think about it. The only recent Final Fantasy game that has not had a special edition system was Final Fantasy VII Remake, and that was pretty much only due to the fact that it was too late to make one happen, because it was already a game that got pushed into the pandemic.
Right, but yeah, that's true. Yeah, special editions, yeah, but I think that's like a bit different from having the actual game like bundled in, like with the Sony can do that with their first party games because it costs them nothing to put a code to do these codes. It's just a code inside the box. But for Square Enix, like, I don't know about bundling their game with a PlayStation 5 at launch. Plus, the other thing is, and this is not to do with Square Enix, this is Sony, like, they haven't really done any special edition PlayStation 5s. They've done like a controller.
Well, yeah, that it's because they don't want to be like Xbox. Because remember when Xbox did the one for Halo, people were immediately pissed. They're like, these things are already hard to get regularly. So a special edition one's even like, it just makes you look bad. That's why they've only done faceplates.
Yeah, but they could do special edition faceplates, right?
That's my thing. I think it would be smart, although we're at a weird point because of those rumors of maybe making us a different designed PS5. Of like, I wonder what'll happen first, the PS5 redesign or a special edition PS5 faceplate.
Probably. I would have thought the faceplates are. I mean, I think they're kind of easy to.
I feel like 16 would be really easy. Of just like, I would just get like a charcoal gray print with like 16 in Roman numerals with like Cliff's face there, and then on the other side it'll have like Ifrit in like a reddish kind of like charcoal color.
Somebody hire this man.
Yeah, hire Spencer. Get Square Enix.
I mean, listen, Square Enix has some great system designers. Like, I highly recommend people look up. We didn't get this one in the West, and I really wanted to import it, but I just couldn't really justify it. They even made a special edition PS4 for Type 0 HD. It was red and gold. It looked really, really nice.
Wow.
There were two different ones for 15. We got one that was around the world, that moon logo at the 15 Roman numeral. And then, ironically, in China, they got an exclusive one that was the design on Prompto's jacket, like his symbol of death. That one was like that was one of those eras where Sony was doing a lot of big exclusive PS4 bundle designs only in China.
I must be really dumb or something. I didn't even realize that was Spencer talking. I just zoned out. I was looking now, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm swearing again! I was like, what the hell is Spencer here?
I'm the ghost of One Piece Odyssey's past, present, and future, here to represent the best RPG of 2023's January.
Wait, hang on. What? More than Forspoken?
I mean, I wouldn't call Forspoken an RPG. I would call it a game with RPG elements.
I came with RPG elements. Oh, dear.
So you're liking One Piece Odyssey?
I'm loving it. It's like it's like someone at Bandai Namco just went, "Hey, why don't we make a Dragon Quest with One Piece?" And it's just Dragon Quest One Piece.
Nice. I kind of heard that.
Oh yeah,
I haven't
the graphics
done.
look very.
It looks similar, right?
It does have the art style of Dragon Quest. If you take a look at some of the monster design, it looks like it's ripped right out of the Dragon Quest 12, the Dragon Quest series.
Oh, but it's got way bigger tits. Oh my god, have you seen the tits in this game?
Oh my god,
No.
yeah, I saw the demo.
They have,
and then when you get to Nami, it's like, wee.
They have. Let me tell you, buddy, they have nailed Oda's design. They were like, you know what? We're gonna give them a 2-inch wide waist and the biggest cupped tits you've ever seen.
Yeah,
Like when I was live streaming the opening of the game, that's like half the chat was like, "Wow, they really cut Nami and Robin's style down."
Wow. No,
One thing I will say about this game, however, is
Robin at the beginning is crazy.
as the game being pushed as a AAA game from Bandai, especially with the way they were marketing it, they had these 10-minute commercials, how to play the game, what to expect, etc., etc. I was almost expecting them to include the English dub. I'm a little bit surprised they didn't go that far, especially since One Piece here started gaining popularity. I'm surprised they just kept that as.
I think we're one away. I think if this game does well, I think One Piece is then going to be in that era of like My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, and Dragon Ball, where we finally get it. But like I was talking about this because someone also brought that up in my chat of we haven't had a One Piece game dubbed since Unlimited Adventure, and that was the first Wii game. That was like back in 2007. It was a long time ago.
Oh, they don't dub them very much or very often.
Well, it's just because it's one of those things like the dub. Like most people don't even know One Piece like is still getting English dubbed episodes. Like it's not aired in syndication. It's just dropped as a digital download every couple of weeks and stuff over here. So it's very much like less of a big thing. Whereas like Dragon Ball was always being syndicated like almost every week. Naruto was being syndicated. Like these shows that are like. You don't necessarily always think of the English dub when you think of One Piece, just because One Piece, I think, is just now finally getting into that like really big level with the West, with like the movie, the cards, the video games, the anime. Like it's now getting to that point where I think it would be more kind of synonymous with it, even though it is a very famous like and like it's still a big production, the English dub. It's not marketed very much.
I see, yeah, and they have that Netflix show coming up, of course, which, yeah. I know nothing about One Piece. I've never watched it. I've never seen it. It's just these like animes that are like 1,000 episodes. I just find them too intimidating to get into. People say like, oh, watch Naruto, and I was like, oh man, it's like 1,000. Come on, man, it's 1,000 episodes, and then I watch Dragon Ball. So I've never gotten into any of these really, really, really long ones. But I know like, yeah, there's a pretty substantial fan base behind it, but like I think because One Piece, they've been around, it's been around for like 25 years, but it's not as popular as the other animes, mangas you mentioned, Spencer. But I think that Netflix show is gonna make it more. It depends how good it. It might be another trash kind of live action, anime conversion, or it might be good. So we have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The actual anime is so fantastical. I don't know how you can put that in a real world setting without it coming off as entirely goofy.
I don't know, because I even watched I didn't watch it. I just saw clips of it because I've been watching this anime called Tokyo Revengers, right? And then I think I just saw, and it's like, oh, I was like, what the hell? There's a live action movie. So I'm like, oh man, when there's like ropey acting and stuff like this. Anyway, and like some of the scenes that like are really done well in the anime, and Tokyo Revengers it's more slice of lifey because it's what's going on and there's like sci-fi stuff with like the whole time traveling thing, but it's other than that, it's just like almost like slice of life, right? But the way that they were acting in the clips that I saw of that, and I was like, I don't know, man. It's just maybe some of the scenes just don't come off as well. And the actors kind of okay. I have seen like live action versions where it was just like, it was just so ropey, like really like straight up ropey acting. Like, please, you know, Japanese live action anime conversion industry, please, you need to improve your acting. Get better actors. Don't watch the I couldn't even get through it. I watched like this is back when I used to watch. I haven't seen Mob Psycho 100 for ages, but there's a live action Mob Psycho. Watch that. I thought that was ropey. And Erased is just, I know, don't watch it.
Jodie, just wait till we finally get the live action Netflix adaptation of Final Fantasy VII on Netflix. We're gonna be seeing.
You're just making that up. That's not a real thing.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Oh yeah. Who are they gonna cast as Sephiroth?
Just imagine live action Sephiroth. I can't imagine anyone doing that well.
I have imagined that. Don't you worry about that.
Don't forget, Jodie. Got to get that Amiibo today.
Yeah, where? I can't find it anywhere.
Oh yeah, the Amiibo.
I can't find it. The only place I found is like some French retailer, and I don't think they do like out delivery outside of. I was looking, mate, because they had the.
I'm wanting you to know I'm literally running. I'm sneaking away in at least like 10 to 15 minutes to go get mine, so I can slobber all over it at work today.
What do you mean you're going to the shop to buy it? Are you joking?
Of course, Sephiroth takes precedence.
The hell? He's at work, people.
Yeah.
He's at work.
Like this morning, I forgot it was coming out today. Like, and then like Nintendo Japan tweeted like it's going out, and I was like, oh shit. And I just like ran out
Genki!
and
What did I say about the swears?
oh sorry.
please try not to swear. Jodie, have you pre-ordered them on Amazon? No, because like the pre-order wasn't there when I looked. Maybe it's there now. There wasn't I couldn't find where to pre-order it, and then Amazon's always, I don't know, the prices. They want to pay me like £20 for an Amiibo, and I don't think so. I'm paying like £20.
See, I think Mr. Nintendo UK just needs to start shipping every Amiibo to your house, and then they can just charge you whatever ones you don't send back. Because let's be real at this point, like which ones are you not buying?
I've got too many of them. I don't know. I don't know put them all, but Sephiroth I do need. I don't want that. What's his face from Tekken? I don't.
Kazuya.
I've never played a second of Tekken in my life.
But he's shirtless at least. He's doing what Sephiroth can't do.
But it's ugly.
Now, what would you do if I broke off the head of the Sephiroth amiibo and just swapped with the Kazuya one? What would you do if I put Sephiroth
doesn't have a big old jacked up body like that. He's slender.
Yeah.
He's slender. Let me look at a few of these comments here. Yeah, so you didn't get the sound of the thing. Oh, Marth is the original Fire Emblem protagonist. Okay, right. Got ya. Mika Picasso's art is so freaking good. Yeah, his art's amazing. It's amazing. I really do like it. I hope they bring the exhibition to London. I don't know if they're going to tour the exhibition. I'd love that. Kaida player One Piece games haven't had a dub for over 10 years. Really? Not even Pirate Warriors games have a dub.
Oh god, no. Those are you gotta remember, those are like budget games. Like I love Pirate Warriors, but like Pirate Warriors 4 almost is entirely made of Pirate Warriors 3's cutscenes.
Oh, dang, really?
Well, I mean, you gotta remember, like when your goal is to retell the entirety of One Piece, like you don't like it's not like Dragon Ball where like you can just keep retelling the same 3 sagas every time. Like One Piece is still going. Like the arc they just finished in the manga, the Wano arc, is the longest they've ever done, and it's like hundreds and hundreds of episodes and chapters long. Like I feel like the Wano arc for One Piece is probably longer than the entirety of Dragon Ball Z.
Good lord! And you're wondering why I've never gotten into it. Well, that's why.
I bet you would love it. The thing about One Piece people don't talk about is One Piece is just really lighthearted. Like it has a lot of serious moments, but like it's pound for pound a lot sillier. Like you know how there are people out there who like Dragon Ball more than Dragon Ball Z because it's just more of a lighthearted adventure. Like One Piece has OG Dragon Ball vibes.
That's why it makes you wonder about when they do these Netflix conversions, like doing this kind of like comedic scenes and things like that in animation. It's just so different from live action because you can do things to make them like super expressive in animation that you can't. I don't know. So I'm kind of curious how that one is going to come across in the live action.
Well, I mean, I say it's lighthearted, but also the first episode in chapter of One Piece does start with the little boy stabbing himself in the eyeball with a knife. So
Nice.
you get both sides of it.
Spoiler alert, everyone. So Spencer's just out here.
Spoiler alert, guys!
Spoiler.
You know that scar Luffy has? There's a reason he has the scar.
Just out here spoiling stuff. Jago says Dragon Ball's episode count is 153 for the original, 291 for Z or Z. I think what they say in Japan. 131 for Super. Yeah, and I ain't bloody watching it. How are you saying that's not long, Jago? Yes, it is.
Genki and Jodie, I'd be curious to get your guys' international kind of marketing. I would say I am shocked at how much Bandai has decided to start marketing One Piece, though. Like, I am getting bombarded with sponsored content and ads for it, like, all the time. Have you guys been noticing, like, a larger, like, ad stuff for it leading up to it? Like, it almost felt like they were waiting for the demo. Because, like, once the demo dropped, I've just been getting constant ads of, like, not just, hey, the game comes out. It's like, hey, play the demo now so that you can then play the game. Like, have you guys seen much about it?
I have not.
I haven't got much personally. I haven't seen that much.
But the thing is like
my end.
When I see ads, yeah, I guess when I use when I tend to see a lot of ads is when I use the YouTube app or the Twitter app because I don't have any type of ad blockers on those. I only use the ad block on on the piece. It depends. Sometimes I turn it off. I don't necessarily have it on for every site, but yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube videos via the app, so I do tend to see actually a lot of ads. I watch all the ads on YouTube. I don't have like YouTube what's it called, YouTube Red or something like that. Well, anyway, that subscription thing, I don't have it, so I tend to see all the ads, and I maybe have seen a couple for. I'm trying to think. I maybe have seen a couple, Spencer, but I haven't seen as many as you maybe. But then I don't know if I've really been taking that much notice. Do you know what I mean? Because ads are just kind of like in the background, right? But now that you've said it, now that it makes sense that they would step it up once the demo had dropped, and I haven't heard that much. I think it only came out last night or something, didn't it, or yesterday, the demo. So...
Yeah, I wish it had released a little earlier. It's a prologue demo that lets you basically play the first 2 hours, but it only released like 2 hours before everything, so it was a little bit harder.
So the game just came out today, didn't it? Either today or yesterday, didn't it just come out? So maybe that's... So I have seen ads, but yeah, they released the demo at the same time they released the game, basically. It seems to be like... So, yeah, I haven't seen a crazy amount of ads. I've seen, like, all this week, I've seen ads for Fire Emblem Engage. Like, they pretty much started this week. I've seen a lot of ads for that. One Piece, yeah, a few, maybe not crazy amount. And, because I don't watch, I don't know about you, Spencer, or where you live, or maybe Genki, you do watch TV, but, like, actual broadcast television, I stopped watching years ago. I don't see it. And when I watch, like, I'm subscribed to like Netflix and like Crunchyroll, and they don't have ads on it, so I tend not to see ads when I'm like just watching stuff, right? So maybe I'm a little bit out of the loop, but I tend to see it on like if I use a browser or the YouTube app or the Twitter app is when I see them.
I just can't believe that you steal all your anime like that. I didn't think you were such a pirate.
I just said I'm subscribed.
You said you weren't a One Piece fan.
I'm subscribed to this man. I'm subscribed to excuse me. I'm subscribed to Crunchyroll and Netflix and Amazon Prime, because you just get that when you get the Amazon Prime thing. So most of my anime I watch legally.
Most of it. No,
most of it.
Most of it.
Except for summertime
Hey,
rendering. And I'll tell you why. Because summertime rendering is locked behind Disney Plus, and I refuse to sign up for Disney.
Dude, Disney Plus is like literally the cheapest one. That's so funny. Literally, like Disney Plus is the only streaming service I pay for. Everything else I don't have.
See, Spencer out here admitting how is he watching these shows?
Let me tell you that, folks. When you're scrolling on Disney Plus and you just see like just random like anime and like dramas, you're like, what's happening? Like, what happened to the world?
Yeah, they got the international, like the whole world rights to summertime rendering. Do you know that? There's no way to watch that show.
And Bleach.
And no, Bleach is on the Crunchyroll. Maybe the new Bleach.
Bleach is only on Bleach. The new Bleach is the one they have the rights to. So it's kind of like so it's on Hulu for us, but everywhere else in the world you have to watch it on Disney Plus because they don't have Hulu in the rest of the world.
You see. No, I think some places they don't have it in the UK, but it's somewhere outside the States. But
Genki, do you? I don't know if this ever gotten easier, but do you have Disney Plus?
No. Oh, they did make it easier. Like I think before you.
Do you remember how incredibly hard you had to have like a specific phone provider to have Disney Plus back in the day in Japan? It was insane.
Oh yeah. You had to have like AU mobile or something like that.
That's weird.
You had to be like an AU mobile customer, and then you could get Disney Plus. And you can't access, and there was no apps for it, so you had to access it on browsers. Yeah, it was rubbish. But since it's been fixed, like you can access it on the apps and stuff.
That's weird. I didn't even know that. I just want to get through some of these comments because there's like a lot here now. Jodie, have you never pre-ordered them on Amazon? What the Amiibo? No, I always get them from Nintendo UK because they are retail price. That's why I have so many Amiibo. Ask yourself, why does Jodie have so many Amiibo? Because
Jodie does not bend on Amiibo pricing. Jodie is a firm believer of the MSRP.
Except for when it comes to those Monster Hunter. Don't get me started on Monster Hunter Stories Amiibo again. I still don't have Cheval and Leia. So cross that I don't want to talk about that. It's very, very, very upsetting. It's a very upsetting story. Genki, you hit me up if you ever see those in a random secondhand store.
Yeah, they'll probably be really good. Yeah, I haven't seen them. I've never seen them.
He'll just send you a PayPal. He'll send you a PayPal invoice for like $2,000.
They won't be expensive within Japan because within Japan they went down for knockdown. It's only out anyway. Okay.
$10,000.
Jago is able to pre-order the Sephiroth Amiibo on January 2nd. How much did you pay, Jago? I don't know. Did you get that off Amazon? Amazon UK. How much was it? Was it £20? I bet it was. Dan Community Centre says, how do you all feel about Day 1 DLC for Fire Emblem Engage? I will ask everyone here, how do you feel? Is there Day 1 DLC for Fire Emblem Engage? I guess
there is Day 1 DLC, yes.
Okay, how does everyone feel about that?
I guess to be fair, there's a Day 1 season pass more than specifically just Day 1 DLC.
Right, okay. Yeah, okay, so my thoughts quickly. If it's a Day 1 season pass, yeah, that's a bit different. Cause I know there will be some sort of expansion at some point. But it's not there. I know at launch you can buy like some of the heroes from Free Houses and stuff like that. But I think there's going to be like an actual story expansion like there was for Free Houses, and they did it with Xenoblade where there's a season pass and you can get some heroes or something. But the story DLC they haven't released it yet. It's going to be later this year. So at least it's not like what Atlas does, which they straight up have story DLC and everything at like on launch day for their games. What they did for what's it called again? Soul Hackers 2, and I think they did it with SMT4.
I'm just surprised. Well. I'm just surprised somebody remembered Soul Hackers 2. That wasn't me.
Yeah, Soul Hackers 2. Yeah, that game underperformed to put it mildly. But that was
because I thought the game was a lot of fun. It was a nice, easygoing RPG that didn't take itself too seriously. I guess I didn't see the rage behind it, but I also didn't play Soul Hackers 1, so I don't have that nostalgia.
That was Vinnie Mac. That was the rage, right? That was the rage of people. fans of Soul Hackers 1 didn't like the direction of Soul Hackers 2. Basically, was where this rage was coming from. Some stuff they did with, like, the demon. We didn't really negotiate with the demons, right? You just like asked them to be in your party, and they just did it, or something. We just gave them something. I didn't play it. I bought 2 special editions of that game. Not bloody played it. Yeah, it's people were annoyed. I'm kind of confused why it was called Soul Hackers 2, and they didn't just reboot it or something. It was kind of weird, man. What do you think, Spencer? Is Spencer here? Spencer's an expert on this, and
He's gone to get the Amiibos.
Yeah, I was about to say he went to get that.
Oh, he went to get the
Went to get that
Sephiroth. He went to get that Sephiroth Amiibo.
The store just opened, so he's looking to get it.
He's gonna tease me on Twitter with.
He's gonna be the first in the store.
I can't believe he's. I thought he was joking. He's not even joking. He does that.
He's probably like driving like 20
Oh,
minutes.
he's driving to go and get
all
it.
the Best Buys or whatever Targets, whatever shops they have in the States.
Yeah, Spencer's kind of the guy to ask about, what was going on with Soul Hackers 2, and people didn't. Yeah, that was my understanding. It was the fans of the first game didn't like what the changes they had made, and were confused as to why. I mean, I'm confused as to why it was called Soul Hackers 2, when it's like 25 years after the first game, and it was just completely different in tone and direction and stuff like that. Like as Vinnie Mac says, as a standalone game, it was fine, right? But I think it was just the fact it's Soul Hackers 2 that people confused about, and like that they dropped the Devil Summoner name and stuff like that. People were confused about that.
Well, as I was playing the game, and from what limited knowledge I have about Soul Hackers, the game seemed like it wanted to be a first-person dungeon crawler. And then maybe at the last minute, armchair developer here, but it looks like they decided at the last minute to pull that camera back a bit because maybe it didn't test well or whatever. But the game felt like, 4 major dungeons, all your side quests are in those 4 major dungeons. It seemed like everything was a little more streamlined. It felt like it wanted to be a first-person dungeon crawler. But, Spencer, I know that he is a Shin Megami Tensei fiend, so he may be able to expound a little bit more on it. But I thought it was.
I'm a fake fan, actually. I don't think I've ever played the series.
I knew it.
Fake fan over here.
Joking. Haven't you played every single Mega 10 game in existence?
I have. I'm waiting for someone to tell me one I haven't played.
Good
Honestly,
Lord,
I'm that
really
guy.
had.
So Spencer, I have watched your channel before. In your opinion for Soul Hackers 2, did you feel that the game wanted to be a first-person dungeon crawler like the first one, and they just pulled the camera back maybe last minute? Because to me, as I'm playing the game, it felt like it wanted to be a first-person dungeon crawler.
I can definitely see that, especially with the way it was designed. But for me, I always still view it through the lens of more of a Tokyo Mirage Sessions 2, with just oddly enough just a pulled-in camera. But I would say, if anything, I'm kind of surprised they didn't include a first-person mode, because they have done that before with even some of their 3D ones out there. But at the same time, though, I at least know everything from my end. That was never the intention with it, but that is so kind of how they like to make their levels, though, to kind of have that original sort of labyrinthian sort of vibe to it, that I can definitely see picking up the vibes of it. And now I think I have to leave because it's that time. I have to go pick up my son from daycare.
Okay. My son, you mean that Amiibo?
Your son Sephiroth?
Your son
Sephiroth? My son Sephiroth. I'll send you a picture of him tucked into the car seat next to me.
I knew he was going to do that. Okay.
Jody, you're just mad because I'm not going to be able to mail you one.
Yeah. I'm going to check Nintendo UK in a bit. Oh, actually, I got something from Nintendo UK. Something came today. I'm like, what did I order? Am I like a nutter? No, I got the Splatfest tee for the Pokemon Cross Splatoon 3 Splatfest. The Team Water.
Post
Team
a
Water.
picture of that. I'd love to see what that looked like.
Okay, I will. Yeah. Team Water all the way. I can't remember if we won or what. I can't remember.
I will still be listening, but keep on carrying on, guys.
Okay, yeah. By the way, we have about 15 minutes left, I think, because I promised Genki the show was not going to run long. I said it's not
He's
gonna
got to
run.
go back. He's got to go back to the big camera. He's got to take at least 13 pictures of Final Fantasy 16 pre-order queues every day.
You know how late it is
He's
there.
got
I
another-
don't think big cameras
I'll be
open.
doing it every week. I'll be posting pictures every week.
Yeah, no, but yeah, please do pictures. I love the pictures inside the stores. Yeah, and Jago says that they paid Jago, I'm not paying £20 for the Amiibo. Okay, that is way above the retail recommended retail price. I know.
It's the Square Enix tax.
It's the no. That's just the Amazon Amiibo tax. That's what that is. No, I'm not paying that. Oh yeah, I got the Joy. You know, I got those Joy-Cons. I haven't taken them out of the box. They're so beautiful. Yeah, I don't care much about the price. I just wanted Sephiroth. I want Sephiroth too. There you go. But I'm not paying £20. Oh, Team Water won. Yes, Team Water go. Big man sweep. I can't wait for that big man. You know, since I think about all the big man Amiibo better be as big as the Detective Pikachu Amiibo. Otherwise, it's an L. That's what he said. That Detective Pikachu Amiibo is worth so much now. I wish I'd bought that when that came. I was dumb as where I should have bought that Detective Amiibo. I'm like, why would I want to? Where the hell am I going to put that? I'm not getting that. Well, that was dumb. I should have got it. So expensive now.
I think that's like the only giant one. I don't think
Well,
they
the
have
giant
any other,
Yoshi,
like,
the giant Yoshi,
yeah.
Woolly.
but like statue, like a real
Yeah,
amiibo,
statue
like,
one.
not like a stuffed toy.
I wanted that,
Amiibo.
that I couldn't find, even at the time, that back then years ago when it was close to the price, I think I couldn't find it, and I just gave up. I didn't really look, and now that is worth so much money. But I do have the Poochie Amiibo. They made a soft yarn Poochie Amiibo, and he has the Amiibo, the NFC thing in his butt. It's on his butt, so you have to tap. You could use it for it was Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World. There was a 3DS version, and you touched his butt onto the bottom screen, and then if you did that, the Poochie pups came in. You have it, J2. J2 Blue says just that they have the Detective Pikachu. Damn you to hell! Damn you to hell, J2.
That's cool. I got one too. Don't worry, J2. I got one too.
What, do you have it as well, Genki?
Yeah, I bought it like
Wow,
when it
done.
came. It was like really
Me and
cheap. It was
Genki
like
done.
3,000 yen.
3,000. Yeah, but it's worth more than 3,000 yen now.
Oh really? Oh, okay. I'm not
Yes.
sure. Yeah, I went. Yeah.
What?
still got
You've
it,
never
but that's
posted any
cool.
pictures of your Amiibo collection that you claim to have, Genki. You claim to have these Amiibo.
Yeah, I don't post them. I only post. I posted a few. I posted like my Final Fantasy. I mean, the Cloud ones and
Yeah.
Marina. Got Marina one.
Marina, I have.
But yeah.
I have Pearl and Marina. I even got the other older Splatoon Amiibo.
I have most of the Zelda ones. There's like a couple I'm missing, but
I
that's
have
the only
some
ones I like
missing.
I try to get every one of is the Zelda ones, and then the other ones are just like characters I like.
Same.
Like, yeah.
Except for like I'm missing some of those Zelda Amiibos that I can't get. Like I can't get them. Find the Majora's Mask one. I can't find the one.
Oh yeah, there's rumors that they're reprinting them.
Yeah, that's
'cause,
what they
like, they're
said.
in France, right? So
In
hopefully
France,
they
and they're
reprint
selling them on some French but I couldn't
yeah.
like,
Really
or
cool.
maybe I just couldn't work it out how to see the to see if they do international shipping on that website. I just couldn't. Even when you translated it, I couldn't work out what was. I couldn't make heads or tails of that website. Yeah. So did Vinnie Mac left? So yeah. So Genki, how did this happen? Like, you accused me of this before. Now it wasn't my fault, Genki. Spencer came in here and he started talking about Amiibo. It was not me, right? I never start these Amiibo conversations. So I know you, and you're saying it's not me. Spencer started it. We're not talking about. I'm
Okay.
talking about Amiibo. I don't know why that always happens. This is because Spencer came in. Okay, let's quickly look at this Amazon. We didn't even look at this, man. Should we quickly look at this Amazon thing and then we will finish? So One Piece Odyssey. One Piece Odyssey is already out, by the way. That game's already out. So it didn't get that high. So this is going to be a sub 100k launch. It should not be in like a brand new game that they're trying, like as Spencer said, Bandai Namco is really pushing this game as kind of more triple A, and it's probably not that triple A, let's be fair. But yeah, they're really pushing this game, and it's coinciding with this, you know, more promotion of One Piece with the anniversary, the movie, the manga, so the manga arc that they just done, and all this stuff. So that game really should be launching at like more than 100k. It should be more like 200k. That's not gonna happen. That is not gonna happen. So we've got some of the usual suspects here. We've got some hardware with system, PlayStation 4 controller. Yeah, and you see these cards as well. So PlayStation 5 here, but as you see when you click it, it says request by invitation. That means that it's like a lottery basically. So you request to be able to buy it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you'd be able to get it. But they do have them available. Now, it's got the story of seasons. What is this called in Japanese, Genki? What does that say? I don't know. It's not called story.
I'm watching the YouTube feed, so it's a bit behind.
It's not called story, like, because you know.
Which one?
Okay, so you know Harvest Moon, right? It's now Story of Seasons in the West, but it's still Harvest Moon. And what is called Harvest Moon is something else, because of some licensing weirdo thing. I bet Spencer knows about it, but he's not here. But in Japan, they've never changed the name, but it is in the West. I don't know. Anyway, this game actually is Story of Seasons, aka I think this one is Story of Seasons, aka the real Harvest Moon. I don't know. I'm really confused. I'm really confused about which one's which. Anyway, so we have PS5 version Hogwarts Legacy, Momotaro, Smash, Kirby. What's this Mages game here? I've never heard of this. Well, this is a visual novel anyway. This is a visual novel. So, we need to worry about that. Are you watching the stream? We've got some on-scent action. It wouldn't be a visual novel without some on-scent action.
Oh, yeah. There's Forspoken. Found it.
You saw it? Oh no, the stream's way behind. You haven't seen it yet. Never mind. This is on-scent action in this game. Some visual novel. Oh, there's a guy curving in the background. Look at this. He's curving in the back. What's he doing? This guy looks so sly. What the hell? Oh my god, that could not be more pervy. What the hell? Oh, that's hilarious. Pervy visual novels aside, it's Forspoken. But so here's the thing, right? This game releases. When is this out? Okay, 24th. So this is pretty soon. It's a pretty nice cover. Yeah, they've got a sample across it like that. That's weird. Yeah. So this is on the 24th. So this game's not gonna do explosive sales because being that low, kind of like that. When it's out in 10 days. So yeah. So we've got some things. There's PS4 version of that game. And yeah, this fitness boxing. The special edition for Fire Emblem Engage. This Kirby game's done really well. It's done really well. I think it's like I heard Mages was in like Mages they didn't Mages they underperformed or something. Or the parent company said that they underperformed. Or was it the whole parent company? I can't remember now. Right, so let's look at the rest of this. Like, there's a lot of obviously Switch games, accessories. Another. Wait, what's this one? Okay, well this is no, this is the Amazon one, isn't it? Yeah, on Amazon Japan, I don't know why they have like you can get that they have like they'll have a separate SKU and it'll have like Amazon like benefits or whatever, like some sort of bonus, but it costs more, so it's not like it's free. It's just more. So I don't know. They don't have that on the UK one. PS5 controllers, PS4 controllers, Horizon bundle. Again, this will probably be like request invitation. Look at this price. That's almost 7,000. No, sorry, not 7,000. 70,000 yen, which is $600. It's got to be something like that. And then we have. Now this is pretty good. Octopath Traveler 2 Switch versions at number 78. This game is not out for another month, I think. Yeah, February 24th. So the fact that that's so high is really good. And what we can do is here. This is, it was number 80 something, right? So if you want to see what the PS4 version is, and you have to look at this one without the Amazon. The one with the Amazon stuff costs more, like I said, but the one without the Amazon stuff on it. This one, look at this. Can everyone see this on the stream? It's number 1,119. Alright, it's a bit of a difference. PS5 version I think is not as bad. I think it's like way higher. Where is it? That's 391. That's still pretty low. Now, often you'll see PlayStation 5 versions of games that are higher than PlayStation 4 games on Amazon, but then when they launch, the PlayStation 4 version sells far more. I think the reason for that is that people have a PlayStation 5 that they've got it recently. They want to get software for it, so they're more inclined to pre-order. That would be my guess. But yeah, there's a pretty stark difference between the Switch version and the PlayStation versions there. Persona 5 Royal is still chugging along here at number 79. So this is because this has been in the Amazon top 100 for weeks actually. It's been there for a long time. So that's doing well. And then we have accessories. This new Shin Ultraman game that got announced recently. Oh, that literally just got announced. It's already here. This literally just got announced, like yesterday or something. Is that some kind of beat 'em up? I think. Yeah, if we look at the footage, just a beat 'em up basically. So it's beat 'em up. Oh, there is no PlayStation version of that game. I guess maybe it's just Switch and PC then. Yeah, so this is Ultraman beat 'em up, apparently is what that is. And this is the thing, right, with Bandai, right? Oh yeah, sorry Genki. I completely forgot about that. Genki, I'm sorry. Let me just quickly finish this and you can talk about that. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, this is the thing with Bandai. They'll do things like not put One Piece Odyssey on Switch, which is dumb, right? It's a dumb business decision. But then they'll make, for whatever reason, a bloody Ultraman like beat 'em up exclusive to Switch. Like, what is that all about? And these Taiko games and all this stuff. I don't know. I have no idea what that's about. There's this Taiko game with like the Taiko drum. So they'll do that. Dragon Quest Treasures, which overall did okay. Now, there's a lot of people said it could have done a lot better, and that Square Enix kind of like dropped the ball on it, is what people are saying. Some people are saying that. I think it did okay. It didn't do as well as like the old like Dragon Quest Monsters game, but I think it's because it wasn't a Dragon Quest. I think people wanted Dragon Quest Monsters, really. People wanted Dragon Quest Monsters, but then they made this kind of sort of, but not really Dragon Quest Monsters, and it's like action based. So I think that's the reason. I think people just wanted Dragon Quest Monsters and they did this instead. We got a Switch version of Crisis Core, more controllers and stuff. There's the Taiko game with you can buy it with the didn't Genki you say you had this drum? I can't remember, and you had to put sand in it or something.
Oh, I don't have it. I just seen it in the stores.
Oh right, okay. I could have sworn you said you had it. Yeah.
You have to put water bottles in it.
or
Yeah.
water bottles to hold it down. Yeah, I bet that is loud as I'll try not to swear. Um, we've got Hogwarts, and yeah, Mario, 3D World, Near Automata, gaming voice chat. What is this? Mixer? Does it mix your audio? Is that what that is? I need one of these. My friend has one, but anyway, I need to speak to him about that. The more accessories, some PS5 accessories, cards, and yeah, there's no more games other than this. Gran Turismo but this wasn't here before. This has reduced in price, I think, is why it was there. Do you know what was here? Valkyrie Elysium was there yesterday. It must have dropped off. It was there because I think that had reduction. Now, Genki, I apologize. Genki would like to talk about Final Fantasy. I'm sorry, we got off track with those Amiibo. Obviously, that's Spencer's fault, so we're going to blame him. Genki would like to talk about Final Fantasy 16, Yoshi P, and yeah, Genki's going to talk about that. I'm going to pop to the loo.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about Final Fantasy 16 a bit. Just because yeah, like a tweet I made like kind of blew up and like got quoted by IGN and Kotaku and some other places. But yeah, basically like what Yoshi P was saying, like yeah, he basically told everyone like buy a PS5. Like people like told them not to worry about the PC version coming out and to buy a PS5. And like the thing was like those comments were made after like they did like a mahjong live stream for Final Fantasy 14, and it was like 7 or 8 hours long. And then after it was like an after show, they were just having a chat and they were like drinking and stuff. Like there was a bottle of wine in the middle of the table, and they were just having a casual chat uh, while still on camera. And yeah, they were talking about Final Fantasy 16, and they want everyone to buy the game. And then Yoshi P was like, just brought up. He's like, "Hey, why is why is everyone saying, oh, I'll wait for the PC version. I'll buy the PC version." He's like, I never said nobody ever said there was a PC version coming out, and he said like, I don't know why everyone thinks like a PC version's coming out in like 6 months later. And like yeah, then he said, yeah, that like people should just buy a PS5. And yeah, I think like in the stream it was like really casual because like it was after that long live stream and he was drinking and stuff. So like the way he was speaking was really loose, and like I if you listen to it in Japanese, it sounds much more harsh than what I translated. And like I saw some other translations online as well. Like I know Audrey, she translates a lot of Final Fantasy stuff. Audrey did a translation as well, and I noticed like I tried to tone it down in my translation, and then like I noticed her translation was even more like nerfed. Like she put like extra PR like niceness on his words, because like if you listen to the Japanese version, it sounds like really harsh. Yeah, so I did try to tone it down like when I made my translation, but yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. And then like there was, but he was kind of like, yeah, it was in that context like he was just like a loose talk kind of thing. So like I don't think you could take it as like an official comment in that way, because he was kind of just speaking like offhandedly like after that live stream. And yeah, he was drinking like some wine and stuff, so yeah, it was kind of like a loose comment that he made. But yeah, I think like loads of websites picked up, and yeah, some websites was like just quoting the buy a PS5 thing, and like yeah, I think they were losing the context a bit uh, of the quote. But yeah, I think in the end, I don't think it blew up as much in Japan. Like some places reported on it, but they know the context of it a bit more than what some of these Western sites were reporting. But yeah, that was crazy, and yeah, I think like he was just trying to say that there's probably not going to be a PC version coming out 6 months later, like what everyone is thinking. But I think there will definitely be a PC version, but it'll just come out a bit later, like maybe I don't know, could be at like a year later, possibly. Yeah, definitely won't be like as soon as those 6 months, like January 1st, they'll put it on PC. It'll come a bit after, and you would imagine there'll be like DLC for Final Fantasy 16 as well. So that might extend the PC thing as well, like just like a remake did. Yeah, but that's all I wanted to say
So
on that.
Genki, I did step out. I got back, so I didn't hear everything you said, but I gather you was talking about this tweet and a translation and everything. Now, at the time when Yoshi P said that, like because I didn't take any notice of this thing. Right, I'll tell you the reason why. Because in the sales community, right, in the forum, there's people that are in there that live in Japan and speak Japanese, whatever, and some people kind of, when they first saw the, you know, the it's like, oh, your GP said this, and the people in the forum were like, oh no, I don't take it seriously, it was just kind of more a joking thing type thing, right? So that's why I took no notice of it whatsoever. So I'm like, well, he's just, you know, he's not going to say something like that seriously in a serious tone, and that he's about buy a PS, you know, just buy a damn PS5, whatever it is he said. So that's the reason I didn't. That's the only reason I didn't take any notice of it, Genki, because people said that. So I was like, well, okay, it was nothing then. It's just nothing burger. In my opinion, I just thought it was a nothing burger. So that's why I just literally took no notice of it. But yeah, I think I don't know why, but like it kind of I think people don't look at it. It didn't really blow up like that in Japan because they knew what he was saying. But in the West, people just want to just latch onto any little thing like that.
Yeah,
as well.
they just take things out of context. Yeah.
Out of context.
Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, but in Japan, like people I mean, some people were angry online, like saying, "Oh, we can't find the PS5 and stuff," and but most people understood the context of it. But yeah,
So we can talk about that aspect about I mean, regardless of what he said and the tone he said it in, whatever, the game is still going to be PlayStation 5 at launch, right? We know later on there'll be other versions, but at launch you will only be able to play it on PlayStation 5. So you do need a PlayStation 5 to play it. It's not going to be on PlayStation 4. So I understand why some people may be annoyed about the lack of availability, which is improving now. Is improving, not as good as I hoped or thought it would be for the last couple of weeks, but I'm really hoping that it's going to be improving going forward. Right now, we'll have to wait and see how next week goes. We don't know. But yeah, so I can understand that sentiment of some people being cross that because there are people that really want to play the game, and the stocks have not been good in Japan. So, but it's better now, right? It's getting better.
yeah, I'm looking forward to next week to see if like what kind of sales they'll continue for the rest of the year.
Right. So, I wanted to answer Tuvari Hong's question, if you don't mind, Genki. This question they have here at the end.
That's cool.
Tuvari Hong says, do you think Square or other Japanese developers will drop PS5 due to bad software sales in Japan and just go Switch and PC? So yeah, I do have an answer to that. Most of them won't. Some have, but only the smaller ones. So the big publishers like Square Enix and other big publishers can't afford to do something like make a PlayStation 5 exclusive game, which if you've seen the software sales in Japan, it's don't do that, right? Or a company like Bandai Namco, which is huge, can be like they the reason why certain games are on Switch and certain games of theirs are not on Switch is because they have obviously some sort of because people have worked this out basically. Bandai Namco has a lot of studios, not just their main Bandai Namco studio. They've got other developers and stuff like that under Bandai Namco, and certain studios' games will go on Switch and certain ones don't. And it's not to do with whether it's possible to run it on Switch, because some of them you can, right? But they just have some sort of thing like these will go on Switch and these won't. So they have some, and people say it's Harada, the head of Bandai Namco Studios. A lot of people blame him and say it's his policy when it comes to because Bandai Namco obviously has the license from Shueisha for all the Jump games, right? So I think like they in order for them to maintain that, this is what I think, in order for them to maintain that license, they have to keep releasing games, right? That's just a normal thing when you've got a license like that, an ongoing license. And I think that you see every single one of these games, most of them anyway, not every single one going back, but most of all the recent ones, there's always been a late port of them to Switch, right? You'll see that the games like Dragon Ball Kakarot, Dragon Ball Fighters, and all, there'll be a late port to Switch, and I think that doing the late port, it makes it count as another release because it's a separate SKU. And I honestly think it extends the license by them doing that. So those licensed games will go on Switch, but something that's like a Bandai Namco Studios game, they will not put on Switch. Like a new one, right? So they'll put Tales of whatever, what was it called? The one that remaster that just came out or is about to come out this year. I forgot what it's called. Tales of not Vesperia, something else. Symphonia. They'll put that on
Tales
there.
of Symphonia.
Yeah, but they won't put Tales of Arise, which if you really wanted to get that to run on, you could do it. You could get that to run on Switch. It's an Unreal Engine 4 game, right? And they will put like all of the Jump games, all of those licensed games, they find their way on Switch. Yeah, I know Tales of Rise, the new one, they haven't put on, and there will be like they didn't put Scarlet Nexus on there. They didn't put, what was the one before that? Code Vein didn't go on there, but they'll put all the stuff with different studios. So for example, when it comes to the studio that makes, and this someone I talked to on Twitter who's like a really big fan of the Idolmaster, and these Idolmaster, I don't think there's Idolmaster games have ever left Japan. It's just like a kind of a rhythm game, idol kind of game, that pretty much all of them they've only ever put on PlayStation platforms, right? There is literally no physical reasons why those games are not on Switch, or even the older games that were on because they used to sell a lot on the Vita. I think maybe some on the PSP. There's no reason why those games are not on Switch other than they just don't want to put them there. They don't want to do it. There's some policy, right? So Bandai Namco can afford to do that. When it comes to other developers, smaller developers, most of which are most of the studios and everything in Japan, they are like smaller size, right? So they can't afford not to put their games on Switch. When it comes to things like the visual novel and otome industry is entirely on Switch. They are all on Switch now. And then some of them just won't. Some of them do a PlayStation version. Some of them just don't bother. They're too small. They don't bother with a PlayStation version. Some of them, and pretty much, everything that's small and mid-sized will release a Switch version. But then they will also do a PlayStation version. But the bigger publishers that you're referring to Vari Hong, a lot of them they can afford not to put their games there because they can make it up in international sales. Bandai Namco will do things like I said, that like with the late ports, but they won't. For certain studios, it'll be like, no, that's not going. Like I said, I can't remember the name of the studio that does those Idol Master games. That them, for whatever reason, they won't put them on Switch. Any of them. I'm talking not even just like the most recent one, which was PlayStation 4, and it completely not only bombed, it completely flopped because they made it exclusive to PlayStation 4. Is the reason, right? Completely flopped. Those games used to sell, a lot, and they for whatever reason they wouldn't put them there. But yeah, that person Patrick that I speak to on Twitter is a big fan of the Idol Master and keeps begging and begging for them to put, because obviously the franchise is like it's kind of dying when it comes to the console games. They got like the mobile games, they're doing some concerts and things like that. But yeah, so it's not like because I know Genki was like saying he's concerned about console gaming as in like stationary, like a console doesn't move, but you can't move, stationary console gaming in Japan dying, and it's just, I think it's just gonna become like a niche enthusiast hobby. I would say it's the way it's going. So yeah, they do care about international, very much they care about international sales. But when you have the big companies, right? But there's a load of smaller companies where they might put only most of their games in Japan, or they at least release in Japan first. Like you saw that Nihon Falcon, they had to do that. Roche. It was like either put your games on Switch or that your games are not going to sell, pretty much, And they even had, like, at their last investor meeting, they had an investor question. Investor asked them, well, what is the digital rate for the games that you've released on PlayStation? And they said it was less than 20%. So it's not even like they had this huge, 90% digital and play. No, they said it was less than 20%. So it's just like, okay, well then your games really are not selling. So that's why the next East game is going to be day and date on Switch as well, right? So they'll probably do it with the rest of the games going forward. JT Blues says, I can't wait for Bandai Namco to hit the port One Piece Odyssey. Yeah, it will be there in like a year, I think, honestly. But yeah, they will. Roche, I hope Valinaware ports the rest of their games to Switch. Yes, like specific. I think you specifically probably mean like Odin's Sphere and what's the other one? It's Spencer's Head, Odin's Sphere and I can't remember. Odin's Sphere I know isn't. It's on PlayStation 4 and there's another one I can't remember the name of. But yeah, there's one that they already put on Switch that was Grimoire, but that was published by NIS. It's released in here. Roche says Nihon Falcon learned for leaving the Switch out there, focus on Switch a lot. Yeah, basically is what's happened. Tuvari Hong, Princess Dragon's Crown. Yeah, that's it. Dragon's Crown. Thank you. Dragon's Crown. Yeah, that's what I couldn't think of. It's Dragon's Crown. That's what it's called. Yeah, so that's two. I don't know if you mean games older than that, but they never made like a crazy amount of games, right? But those are the two notable ones that I would say they are notably absent from Switch. I think they could put those. Whether they will or not, I don't know. I know they've only just done 13. I bought that game. I need to play it. 13 Sentinels. I hear it's really, really good. I really love the art style of that. Their art is really nice. Tuvari Hong isn't Falcon expanded internationally though. No. They do their international publishing through other companies that they license their games to, but they themselves are not expanding internationally. No, they are Japan only. They're basically Japan only. So that was part of the issue. And then they license their games out to these companies like NIS, who publish it through NIS America, and they do the localization and everything. So I think they own the localization. Did Genki leave? Genki, I'm sorry, I know we've run long.
Oh no, yeah, I have to go to
Genki,
sleep soon.
okay, we're gonna finish now. Yes, you need to play 13 Sentinels. Yes, I will. I'll play after. At the moment, I'm playing. I'm actually playing Fire Emblem Fate's Birthright. Is the one. I just started playing that 3DS game. Oh, and Muramasa the Demon Blades. Wasn't that a Wii game or something? It was on the Wii and then it was on something else. Yeah, those. So hopefully they will port those. So I would like to say thank you to Genki for staying up. I know we ran long. We did have the technical issues, Genki, right? So that was that, and then Spencer came and started talking about Amiibos. Yeah. So apologies, Genki. Thank you so much for joining me. I always appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, and thank you to oh god, my mind's gone blank now. Vinnie Mac. Thanks to Vinnie Mac for joining us. I know you had to bounce. And thank you to Spencer from the SMT network. He had to go and do an emergency run to go and get Sephiroth Amiibo.
You have to get the Sephiroth. I got two. I'm gonna open one of them.
Hold up, you bought two?
Keep the other one. Yeah.
One to open, you see? You see? People complain about me. You bought two, right? Okay, I'll see how it is. But yeah, it's one of those ones that's gonna go rare. It's gonna go rare because it happened to the bloody Joker Amiibo and a load of them. Hero Amiibo, same thing happened. So yeah, and I bought those on launch at a retail price. But you go to the Nintendo store. Everybody, here's the top tip for today. Go to the Nintendo store, the actual Nintendo, where in your region where you live, right? And they sell everything at retail price. You don't need to pay no £20 for a Sephiroth Amiibo. It'll be like $14.99. You don't need to overpay. Thank you so much, Genki. Thank you. Genki, we'll probably need to speak during the week about these. Make sure we don't get these audio issues again.
Oh yeah, it seems like it's sorted now.
It seems apart from I need to just sort out what I'm doing with this mic and everything. But oh yeah, I forgot to do this.
Yeah,
Genki.
thanks for guys in the chat.
Genki, I forgot this. Wait, hang
What's
on.
that?
Look, hold up. I forgot the stream ending transition.
Oh, you have a. Oh yeah. You have to use that. You have to use all your fancy transitions.
I've done it now. I'll go to mine. Yeah, this is
Make
exactly
us look
why.
professional.
Jago, that's why I haven't pre-ordered it because it wasn't there yet. Yeah, you go.